but Matthew's paper really was about what we might want to do to make ourselves, how we might ethically edit ourselves for climate change, for example. So I'm really curious to hear where you take all of this.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of opportunities for this to solve big world problems. So one thing is the climate change. And there, I'll just use, sort of climate change is a really big problem. We don't really know how to solve it, but it turns out.
You asked me to help you.
Welcome everyone to the Best Damn Podcast. I am your host, John Keane. As always, I would like to thank you guys for joining me. Ask that you please add, follow, and check us out, www.thebestdampodcast.tv. Follow me, Instagram, Facebook, Best Damn Podcast, Twitter, The Real Best Damn, and wherever you're watching from, make sure to hit that like, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and share this link. It helps us to get it out there. And for new people to find us, make sure to subscribe, click all on the notifications bell, and keep in mind, we're completely viewer powered. So if you'd like to donate and support, the links and the information in the description box down below. Today we have got quite the show. It's been a while since I've been able to do another live, so I have been putting together so much stuff for you guys I want to share with you today. And I tell you what, it's not hard. Right? It's not hard in today's age. There's so much insanity going on right now that one can only, kind of think like maybe some of the prophecies are right. Maybe this is a time of great revealing. Maybe this is a time of extraordinary growth in the human race. Or maybe, this is a time for destruction so we can start over and, rebuild. Today we're going to be talking about the World Economic Forum, Davos, the new pandemic treaty that they're trying to put together. We're also going to be looking at some Planet X related stuff as well. We have asteroids and comets coming fairly close to the planet. Matter of fact, there's people putting out videos that are saying tomorrow we could possibly even be hit by an asteroid. And a comet that's been coming around for the first time in over 50,000 years. Is all of this what's causing the Earth's core itself to stop spinning? Or is this just signs of a pole shift? And, what kind of forces are triggering all of this? Or is this just more, mass media manipulation through fear? We also have massive quakes taking place all over the globe, which kind of shows, the continents shifting, as well as Arctic ice that's been melting at an exponential rate. And anybody that looks at like the Lost Book of Enki can see that, historically in the mythos in the past, whenever the ice starts to break away, especially like something like the Doomsday Glacier, this is kind of a telltale sign of the big shift or the pole reversal getting ready to take place. And anybody who's looked at a lot of the scientific data as well knows that we're really close to that time also. Microchips being implemented into humanity on a daily basis. We're going to talk about that. We're going to be talking about vaccines and updates with that, and how it now seems as the very people who were pushing that agenda are now kind of stepping away from all of that and, passing the buck, letting other people kind of explain away all of the things that are taking place, like the side effects and all that shit, now. The Doomsday Clock has now hit 90 seconds to midnight. Judging by all of the things that are taking place, I think that's a fairly reasonable estimate, to be honest. But a lot of people believe that the Doomsday Clock is, a scare tactic. It's part of the mass media manipulation by the scientific community to push global agendas such as climate change and geoengineering and so on and so forth. There's been 666 million COVID doses delivered worldwide. At Davos, the World Economic Forum, the new global reset keyword now, I guess, or hot word or hot phrase that they're using now is a fragmented world, a fragmented society. So a lot of these people are stepping away from this, like I said, from all of the COVID, the pandemic, all of that now, and back into the shadows. And they're saying, here, you're left over with this new world, which is a fragmented one, a broken one that will need global resets, even if we have to force them, right, to fix, what's been broken, or to right what has been wrong through the medical industry, or economy, the dollar, all of it, right? We're also going to be looking at digital diagnosis codes for the unvaccinated. And this is fucking crazy. This is part of, which we're also going to see, they're bringing up now, experts are bringing up now that we'll need, if there's a reset of the economy, we'll basically need some type of codes or scoring system universally for our monetary systems in order for them to kind of stay afloat with all the inflation and things. Well, now they're talking about there needs to be a code, and there is one, and it's been implemented for the first time, a diagnosis code for those that have been unvaccinated. So they can tag you with this code, basically, and this could have a lot of effects. So there's petitions going around right now to kind of stifle this and hopefully, put a lot of this to bed. But I don't know, guys. It seems like the system continues to push us into this totalitarianism, and it's tyranny. It's tyranny through technology. It's tyranny through, medical tyranny, and it's tyranny through, our laws and legislature as well. So political tyranny that we're facing, not just in the U.S., but this is global now, and we see the global bodies being used as the arm, so to speak, to kind of bring all of this to fruition. And finally, the crypto control right now, and how everything is shifted to that. We've seen a big dip in crypto. Well, the experts say it's not over yet. Everything is going to be pushed to this as far as digital currencies and dollars for the masses in order to, capitulate with their social credit scoring. And the global crisis report came out as well. We'll take a look at that if we have time. Today is going to be deep. There's going to be so much that we're going to get into. It's not even funny, so stick around. Let me say thank you to those that are in the chat. And I'm going to try to make the show more interactive. These live shows a lot more interactive now. So I'm going to keep the chat up for me to see at all times. So if you have something you want to comment on some of the topics or stories or videos that we're going through tonight, you're more than welcome to do so. And I'll try to read off as many of those as I can. We're going to bring back call-ins and stuff. We're just not going to do it today. It's going to be soon, though. So, it looks like we have Bill Moore, Mike Kretmer, Higher Mind 1111, Graceful Heart, Up Yours 73, CR user. Thank you, man. Yeah, I appreciate all of you guys for joining me too, by the way. Like I said, it's a crazy time that we're in, and shit is getting hectic. It's like, it's almost impossible too, so I just want to preface this video with this. Like, it's almost impossible to discuss a lot of these things with you guys now because of the community guidelines on a lot of these platforms. So please bear with me. If I skip a word and I don't say something, or it sounds funny the way that I say it, you're going to have to read between the lines, on some of this stuff. I've gotten too many strikes. My backup channel's got strikes, and I can't afford to get in any more trouble out here. So, support me. I am going to be we're bringing back in February. It's a start for 2023 memberships. Twice a month, I'll be doing private live shows on Discord for the people that, support me. So that'll be something cool, and we'll have the entire uncensored library up for all of you guys. If you want to check out some of our classic videos, a lot of people ask me this all the time. They're like, where's your old videos, John? Because I've had to do a lot of cleaning here on YouTube. Well, you can find some of our old videos on BitChute and Rumble. So if you want to check in the description down below all the other platforms I'm on, there's links to those, and you can go check those out, or you can support and get access to an entire Dropbox full of the stuff that's never been up on the internet. So totally up to you. Thank you guys for joining me too. The Doomsday Clock hits 90 seconds to midnight. Fear-mongering, or is the threat actually real? The Doomsday Clock moves ahead. The Doomsday Clock has hit 90 seconds to midnight. The descent into chaos. Every day, more signs of an incoming man-made apocalypse are popping off around the world. The U.S. is sending Abrams, and Germany is sending Leopards. Air defense is being put up in Moscow. Rumbles of more mobilizations from Russia, and the U.S. military drills with Israel, including B-52s, which are nuclear bombers. And now the Doomsday Clock just hit 90 seconds to midnight. All because a select few of the parasitic elite are slowly leading to the destruction of the planet while trying to maintain their power. They spend more funding on wars than people. Their corporate media keeps us divided and mad over the things that do not matter in the big picture. Their intelligence agencies plot coups and political espionage domestically and internationally. They use 5,000 plus soldiers to protect them while they plot their complete takeover, all because they're afraid of what people are capable of. Everybody's got to stay woke and follow the latest trends. Don't pay attention to the 750 military bases in 80 countries around the world, 120 in Japan, 119 in Germany, and 73 in South Korea. That accounts for 40% of all U.S. military bases on Russia and China's doorstep. But yeah, the Russian invasion is so unprovoked. And don't even get started on the experiments and tests run by the U.S. on numerous subjects throughout its history. And somehow all the egotistical politicians think the U.S. should be the world's police. As the Declaration of Independence states, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundations on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. I think that is incredibly interesting because we find ourselves somewhat of a position like that. I think we could say, they wiped out all our militias. Any group that is not controlled opposition in some way, shape, or form, or part of some intelligence psychological warfare operation is labeled a domestic terrorist, or some part of some terrorist organization is taken down, defamed, and God knows what happens to a lot of the people that are involved in this. But it's like they have this red scarlet letter put on them just for even voting wrong, or voting in a fashion that's not politically correct now. They have a social engineering agenda that is really pushing us into a scary place as a whole. And this is why we're gonna look at some of the things today, because it's incredibly important to understand that there's a trans agenda. It's not just transgender, it's transhumanism, right? And it's about making everything universal, because they want to create universal religions, universal dollars, right? And universal government. This is how they do that, right? By creating unisex, right? And making you, essentially breaking down the fabric of society that kept our capitalist system into place, and saying everybody gets the same, universal basic income, right? Socialism, this is all part of that agenda. And this is this is communism. And this is communism. And it'll be just like what you see now. Special groups will get all the recognition, will get all of the love, while the masses essentially they starve together, right? But everything's equal. Okay. It says, what is the Doomsday Clock? It's a measurement created by scientists after the end of World War II to measure how close we are to man-made apocalypse or nuclear holocaust. Midnight. The Doomsday Clock is a design that warns the public about how close we are to destroying our world with dangerous technologies of our own making. It is a metaphor, a reminder of the perils we must address if we are to survive on the planet. When the Doomsday Clock was created in 1947, the greatest danger to humanity came from nuclear weapons and the Cold War. Climate change was considered for the first time in 2007. The closest it's been it had been before what it is now was during the Cuban Missile Crisis, and the furthest it's been from midnight was in 91 at the end of the Cold War when the United States and Soviet Union signed the Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty, 17 minutes to midnight. Currently, the time is set by the Science and Security Board. Scientists and other experts with deep knowledge of nuclear technology and climate science who often provide expert advice to governments and international agencies seek the views of the Board of Sponsors before taking any decisions, and its sponsors. The clock is a perfect tool for propaganda and pushing an agenda, isn't it? And I think it is, right? If you have anybody that's sponsoring something, right, that's obviously they're paying money. They're paying money.
I'm Rika Watanabe of Peacesports, speaking from Tokyo, Japan. The war in Ukraine is promoting an arms race, not only in Europe, but also here in East Asia.
Yeah, the war in Ukraine, right? And we all know that it's a big, giant fucking money laundering scheme. And let me know if you guys get sound and good video and all of that in the chat. I would greatly appreciate that. Let me know if you got sound and video, guys. That way I don't continue. Tyler Chapman, what's up, John? Driving FedEx here in Hayward, California. And that's what's up. I seen somebody else was from San Francisco as well. Stay positive and calm is the key. Japan is also the main helping body with the Tiger White Dragon, secret societies. Love your interactive shows, John. Oh, thank you. You want to be Japanese? Okay, yeah, well, I think we'd all like to be Japanese and beautiful, right? But you know what? I found this to be incredibly interesting because this is showing you right here that, you know, they're pushing this as part of a fear tactic, but it's also got some truth in it, right? All truths are but half truths. There's always, you know, a positive and negative side to everything. Now, I want to show you something. We're going to look at these comments first before we get into all of this, but you can see here, if you're looking, we're going to get into the comments first. I want to show you this video I found, and I'll let you kind of tell me your thoughts and opinions on all of this. But we have an asteroid. Let me drop a chat out here too, guys. Let me get a chat for y'all. Nice. Everybody make sure to hit the thumbs up if you're in the chat too. It helps just kind of spread it around and get more people involved. So I appreciate that. Alright, here we go. Asteroid. Close encounter on Thursday. This is near-Earth asteroid 2023 BU. Extremely close encounter. Now, this is weird because we have this other comet, ZTF, that actually can be seen with the naked eye right now, glowing green in the fucking sky, that's supposed to pass at the same time or around the same time, pretty close to the planet as well, right? And if you look at some of the videos and the data, the way that this thing is listed is at 0 lunar distances, which means it would collide into the Earth. They just discovered near-Earth asteroid 2023 BU, which is about 5 meters in size, and this is according to, they have a condition code on how sure they are of the size of this thing also, alright? The condition code started somewhere up around 8. It was discovered by AI, not even by a human, okay, this asteroid that they just found a day or two before it's supposed to, you know, crash or pass. And they're saying it's like 30 feet wide, right? Well, the condition code was originally 8. I think they've dropped it down now to 4 or 5 after it's hit the media. You know, what a coincidence. But, you know, that means at one point they were not very sure at all of the size of this thing. So they just discovered near-Earth asteroid 2023 BU, about 5 meters in size, will sweep extremely close to Earth on January the 26th, 2023. It'll pass less than 3% of the moon's average distance. That's 1/4, 25% of the distance of geostationary satellites. So that means it's a quarter of the distance our satellites are from the Earth. That's where it's going to pass at. So that's fucking close. That's so close. And if you take the distance they measure, how far these things are away from the Earth, they measure from the center of the Earth out. So that whole, you know, distance, from to the center of the Earth isn't really included in the distance that it's traveling. So if it's 0 lunar distances and it's a quarter of the way between the satellites and the Earth, it's more than likely going to smash the Earth, right? It's going to hit. Well, if it's just 30 feet, no big deal. But if you have a high fucking condition code and a human's never even laid eyes on this thing and it's only been found by an AI computer, well, okay, maybe, something could be off. Maybe it's a lot bigger than what we think. Maybe it's smaller, right? One will know, I guess, when it happens tomorrow, right? But also, it makes you wonder, is this some type of cover-up or something for this giant fucking comet that's also passing around the same time, pretty damn close, at the same time, and was just recently discovered and hasn't been around our neck of the woods for over 50,000 years, So I'm just saying. On January 26, 2023, the near-Earth asteroid 2023 BU will have an extremely close but safe encounter with Earth. It'll pass less than 6,200 miles from the Earth's center and be within the distance of about 1/4 of the geostationary satellites orbiting the Earth. The Virtual Telescope project will show you live. All right. And you can see here, and I'm going to show you its actual stats that we have right now. But that's the alleged distance. Go ahead and read. Oh, well, I'm not signed in. But that's the distance right there from the Earth. That's their best guess. Okay, now, let's take a look here. Here's the small body database lookup for 2023 BU. Remember, Doomsday Clock just got moved up to 90 seconds, too. There's a lot of shit going on. Now, whether or not this hits the Earth and fucks us up, or something else does, is neither here nor there. I think one of the things that I want to illustrate to all of you is that there are multiple things that are going on around the world right now, and this is just one of them. This is just the tip of the iceberg, shit whizzing at us from space. But this is also part of a lot of prophecies, right? That are apocalyptic, and kind of talk about bringing in this time. They all mention comets and asteroids and, Nostradamus, right? The mountain set ablaze, landing into the ocean, causing land masses to rise and fall. Wormwood in the Bible. I mean, the Hopi prophecy, the red and blue Kachina. I could go on and on, right? I've covered this shit for years. Now, here we go. We take a look at 2023 BU, and we can go to the condition code. Like I said, and you can see I've kind of got it highlighted for you guys here, 2023 BU condition code is now down to 4. It goes from 0 to 9. 0 being they absolutely know what the fuck they're talking about. They're totally sure on how fast it is, like the whole thing. And 9 being they have not a clue. Now, let's go check this video out here, where dude shows the orbital trajectory here.
World News Report today. Today is January 22nd,
Make sure you guys can hear that,
2023,
too.
8 p.m. Central here in the U.S. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. JPL and NASA have just discovered 2023.
I'm going to drop the link. It's World News Report today. I'm going to drop the link to this video in the chat so you guys can check that out later on. I wouldn't go check it out now.
BU. And they're claiming it's going to be a direct hit on Earth for January 26th. I don't have specifics about time, and the condition code is such that they probably don't either, but they're giving it a 0 lunar distances, i.e. a direct hit, and that is from the core of Earth. So, we have 2023 BU. It's under 20 feet in diameter. It's coming in at around 10 kilometers per second, which is a little faster than 22,000 miles an hour. Depending on the inclination of its entrance, there could or could not be a problem. What we have going for us is that they think it's under 20 feet. That's the plus. Although, after you take a look at some more information, you'll question their numbers as far as the width itself.
There you go.
Let's take a look at that. We will zoom in, and this was just spotted coming in It is coming from below the planet here, as you can see.
And there you go. That's the crazy part right there. And I wanted you to see this. He goes on. This is a good video. It's only a few minutes long, too, if you want to check it out. But he had a really good view of this. And he's talking about this, too, how we have this comet going past at the same time. Right now, they've just come out with articles, and I'm going to show you in just a second to kind of go along with this, right? That the Earth's core has now stopped spinning, right? It's now stopped spinning. The hot magma in the center has stopped spinning. Is this an indication of pole reversal? We're going to look at some other stuff that kind of shows you, like from the Adam and Eve CIA files and Charles Hapgood and like a lot of these guys was talking about this happening over and over and over, destroying different civilizations, us being the sixth civilization to emerge. So we'd be the sixth mass extinction event to happen here on Earth. And what happens before this happens, right, is large celestial bodies go by usually or cause or trigger this during certain cycles of our sun. And we see all the effects that we see now, and then the Earth stops spinning and reverses direction magnetically. And I guess one of the telltale signs of that is the spin in the magma as well, right? And if you look at any of the things that talk about Planet X, right? And we're going to go there for a second. I know not everybody believes in Planet X, and I'm not telling you it's real. I'm not telling you it's fake. It's all as real as your mind makes it, just to be honest. We live in a very special, cool, creative reality. But the truth is, a lot of people believe that this thing will come up from underneath the ecliptic, right? So come up from underneath the Earth. And where is this comet approaching from? Or where is this asteroid approaching from? Underneath the Earth. Is this part of the system, the beginning of the system? Or, is this nothing at all? And more psychological, programming for all of us to bite and chew on and talk about over on YouTube.
And as it gets towards the 26th, today's the 22nd, it's supposed to be a direct hit, complete direct hit in every direction, 0 lunar distances, and it's been in our inner solar system unspotted for so long.
Yeah, so I'll leave it at that with that video. He's saying direct hit. I'm saying I don't know for a fact. I don't know the distance. I could have pulled up the information. I've done it before, but I didn't take the time to. The distance from the middle of the Earth to the outside, and how different that would vary as opposed to the size or the trajectory of this celestial body. It says the meteorite I held was the first sized, really heavy, like an iron. Okay, so you held a meteorite and it was like an iron frying pan. They do burn up in the atmosphere, but fragments can and do hit the Earth. Absolutely. Right? And that's the thing. Like, it would be a fragment. I mean, if it landed on your house, you'd be in trouble, right? 30 feet wide, landed on your house wouldn't be there anymore, probably. But if it's bigger, that's the thing. Or, let's see. Fear nothing. We're shifting to the light. Love has already won the quantum. I agree with that. Fear is not what we should be driven by. It's not like I'm telling you to go out and, start prepping and, burying your head in the sand over any of this at all. And making you aware of this because, I want you to see the structure of the system and how they use fear, for one, to kind of get us to do things or have beliefs or adopt beliefs. It's used to control us, but it's also used to paralyze us, and keep us from looking more into something, or to keep us from, expanding our knowledge on certain things as well. The Antarctic, the giant iceberg breaks away in front of a UK station. You guys remember the Lost Book of Inky? What's he talk about? The Doomsday Glacier breaking loose, from Antarctica, and that being the telltale sign that Nibiru has arrived, right? So every time I see stuff with all of this Arctic ice breaking off, that's the first thing I think of. It's like the influences of some strong magnetic field or radiation from a rogue star or, something like that, an external influence, and what it would do to the Earth. And I think this is what it would do. It would influence the magnetics and how they generate inside the Earth, such as in our magma, in our core, and it would, break ice loose. And, that would probably be, send large tsunamis all across the world, like it said in the Lost Book of Enki. And that's supposed to be the ancient Sumerian text. You guys can take that with a grain of salt, but I just thought it's important to show these things as they're happening. And here is the other body that's passing right now. This is Comet ZTF, and this is an actual live feed of Comet ZTF right here. I want to show you it first. Right, you guys can see it. Nice sized body right there. And boom. Has Earth's core stopped its strange spin? Earthquake data has hinted that the Earth's core stopped rotating faster than the rest of the planet in 2009. But not all researchers agree. Now, let's go over here. They have the Planetary Defense Conference scheduled in 2023 already, right? For the hypothetical asteroid impact scenario, April 3rd. They'll be doing that, and this is a global exercise, right? And then here's the comet. Green Comet C2022 E3, how to view the rare Stone Age visitor from deep space. It'll make a close approach to the Earth on February 1st before sailing off into deep space for millions of years. On February 1st, bright green comet named C2022 E3 ZTF will make a close approach to the Earth for the first time in 50,000 years, swooping within 26 million miles of our planet. The comet will offer a rare night sky spectacle last seen when modern humans shared our planet with Neanderthals. But you don't have to wait until February for your chance to glimpse the comet. It is already visible in the late night and early morning sky. Sky gazers have been following the comet's path for weeks now and got a good look at it on January 12th. And I want to tell you that it is, even though it's faint, it's about 25,000 times fainter than the dimmest star. And on the nights of January 26th and 27th, the comet may be visible just a little east of Dipper's Bowl. So look, that's what I wanted to point out, right? They're kind of, fudging the numbers or the probability of this asteroid hitting that they just found, right? It's coming from underneath us and all this shit. And then this green comet, that was recently discovered, it'll be at its closest point February 1st, but on January 26th and 27th, the night that this asteroid is supposed to collide, we'll be able to see the green comet as well, right? So I just wanted to kind of show these things, man. I think it's very interesting. And then when you look at a lot of the other shit, taking place and how they're preparing for, these crazy asteroid impacts and, how we have things like this, right? The Earth's core starting to go all screwy. And then we're going to get into the World Economic Forum and trafficking and organ harvesting and all that in just a second. So, but thousands of kilometers beneath your feet, the Earth's interior might be doing something very weird. Scientists think the inner core spins faster than the rest of the planet, but sometime in the past decade, according to a study, it apparently stopped doing so. We were quite surprised. The results could help shine some light on many mysteries of the deep Earth, including what part the inner core plays in maintaining the planet's magnetic field and in affecting the speed of the whole planet's rotation, and thus the length of a day, but they are just the latest installments in a long-running effort to explain the inner core's unusual rotation, not be the final word on the matter. And I think this is crazy because, seeing that, this is kind of happening now, the Earth's core is slowing down. I wonder, is this part of, and a lot of studies do believe that this is part of our magnetic field, and this is a sign of pole shift. And I think I got a video over here, right? Pole shift, Earth's inner core seems to have stopped spinning and maybe in the process of changing direction. Few of us give much thought to Earth's swirling, spinning contents until some sudden movement, an earthquake or a volcanic eruption, jolts us to our senses. Geoscientists, though, are a little more clued into the dynamics of Earth's guts and have just discovered the Earth's solid inner iron core, which usually spins with a near frictionless molten outer envelope, which appears to slow to a grinding halt. And I think it's this video here.
The core of the Earth might have just stopped spinning and might be now reversing its direction of spin, according to an international team of researchers. This finding was published in the journal Nature Geoscience and states that the globally consistent pattern suggests that inner core rotation has recently paused. It further adds that the rotation might have surprisingly shifted to the opposite direction.
Is this not showing the page that I'm on here? That's weird. Alright, hold on, guys. I apologize. I don't know why it's not showing the page that I'm on. It's showing just my one tab. I did not know that. I do apologize for you guys. Oh, fuck. Alright, let me see if I can fix this here. That sucks. There it is. Sorry about that, y'all.
Mind-boggling results suggest that Earth's center pauses and reverses direction on a periodic cycle lasting about 60 to 70 years, a discovery that might solve long-standing mysteries about climate and geological phenomena that occurs on a similar time frame and that affects life on our planet. The planet within the planet, that is the Earth's core, which is almost the size of Pluto and is roughly 5,000 kilometers below the surface, can spin independently. This is because it floats in the liquid metal outer core. The new research analyzed seismic waves from the repeating earthquakes for the last 6 decades and came to this conclusion. Researchers have long believed that the inner core rotates relative to the Earth's surface back and forth like a swing.
Yeah, hey guys, I do apologize in the chat. Hopefully I can timestamp this bitch and, fix it to where y'all don't have to watch the first couple minutes of it. But yeah, I have 2 different tabs open for like what I'm doing on the show, and for whatever reason it wasn't picking up my other tab. So I thought you guys could see that, but obviously you could not, and must not. Yeah, here we go. I think we're good. Let me see if I can switch tabs and you still see it. No. Great. Hold on. Well, we're just gonna have to go from here first, and then I have to switch over, I guess. I don't know what the hell's going on with my stuff today, guys. This has been crazy. Alright. Yeah, there's the chat. There's the other tab. And nice. That sucks ass. Okay. Alright. I think that's all I can do is just kind of switch back and forth there. So, yeah, that's what it is. Sorry, man. I'll just hopefully I don't forget. Alright. So you see here, man, that's let me go back. I think I've closed a lot of shit, but Comet C, ZTF, and then asteroid BU-23. This is this whole deal where we have something that's coming extremely close to the Earth. It's like that on top of a lot of the other stuff that we've seen, I guess, is showing us that we're at this time of a change. Sorry guys, totally got off there. Alright, so let's keep it moving. Keep it moving. And thank you everybody for joining. I don't know why I can't see why the chat wasn't popping up and shit either. Alright. Alright, no worries. The audio told enough. Well, thank you. I'm glad it told enough. Alright, you are not a horse. You are not a cow. But we hope you are a sheep. And this is fucking crazy. You see, this is the US FDA. FDA.gov. You should not use ivermectin to treat or prevent C19. Right? I mean, look at this, dude. You're not a horse. You're not a cow. Seriously, y'all. Stop it. They're comparing you to that if you take some other treatment. And then, okay, this is from the intro. He's a real alien. He's afraid to get the flu. It says, will he still get COVID even though he's doing this? Oh, Lord. Yeah. The insanities went to an all-time fucking high when people are doing shit like that. Closing down Davos for the World Economic Forum meeting 2023. The digitization of humanity shows why the globalist agenda is evil. In recent weeks, I've been seeing an interesting narrative fallacy being sold to the general public when it comes to designs of globalists. The mainstream media are now openly suggesting that it's actually okay to be opposed to certain aspects of groups like the World Economic Forum. They give you permission to be concerned, just don't call it a conspiracy. This propaganda is a deviation from the abject denials we're accustomed to hearing in the liberty movement for the past decade or more. We have all been confronted with the usual cognitive dissonance. The claims that globalist groups just sit around talking about boring economic issues and nothing they do has any bearing on global politics or your everyday life. In some cases, we're even told that these groups of elites don't exist. Now the media is admitting that yes, perhaps the globalists do have more than just a little influence over governments, social policies, and economic outcomes, but what the mainstream doesn't like is the assertion that globalists have nefarious or authoritarian intentions, and that's just crazy talk. The reason for the narrative shift is obvious. Far too many people have witnessed the true globalist agenda in action during the pandemic lockdowns, and now they see the conspiracy for what it is. The globalists in turn seem to have been shocked to discover many millions of people in opposition to the mandates, and the refusals to comply were clearly far greater than they expected. They are still trying to push their brand of fear, but the cat is out of the bag now. They failed to get what they wanted in the West, which was a perpetual Chinese-style medical tyranny with blank passports as the norm. So the globalist strategy has changed, and they're seeking to adapt. They admit to a certain level of influence, but they pretend as if they are benevolent or indifferent. The response to this lie is relatively straightforward. I can point out how Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum savored the thrill of the initial pandemic outbreak and declared that COVID was the perfect opportunity to initiate what the World Economic Forum calls the Great Reset. I could also point out that Klaus Schwab's vision of the reset, what he calls the Fourth Industrial Revolution, is a veritable nightmare world in which artificial intelligence runs everything. Society is condensed into digital enclaves called smart cities, and people are oppressed by carbon taxation. I can point out that the World Economic Forum actively supports the concept of the shared economy in which you will own nothing, have no privacy, and you will supposedly be happy about it. But it only because you won't have any other choice. What I really want to talk about, however, is the process by which the elites hope to achieve their dystopian epoch, as well as a globalist mindset which lends itself to the horrors of technocracy. And in the PDF exercise that we were looking at, and I don't know if you guys got to see it or not, because I was fucked my screens up. But in the PDF exercise from NASA for this year's asteroid, all the exercises are called Epoch 1, Epoch 2. So, just kind of the play on words here. Pretty crazy. It says, this is a fallacy. The globalists are not like us. They are not human, or should I say, they despise humanity and seek to do away with it. And because of this, they have entirely different aspirations compared to the majority of us, which include aspirations of dominance. What we are facing here are not normal people with consciences, ethics, or empathy. Their behavior is much more akin to higher functioning psychopaths and sociopaths rather than the everyday person on the street. We saw this on full display during the COVID lockdowns and the vicious attempts to enforce vaccine passports. Their actions betray their long game. Take a look at the comments by the New Zealand's Prime Minister and the World Economic Forum attendee, Jacinda Ardern, from a year ago. She admits to the deliberate tactic of creating a two-tier class system with their own country based on vaccination status. There is no remorse or guilt in her demeanor. She is proud of taking such authoritarian actions, despite numerous studies that prove the mandate's ineffective. And let's see if we can take a look at this here.
So you basically said this is going to be like, well, it's almost like, you probably don't see it like this, the two different classes of people. If you're vaccinated or if you're unvaccinated, you have all these rights. If you are vaccinated...
That is what it is, so yep. Yep.
Can you describe this? You were previously hoping not to have to do that, I guess, when we still looked like we could maintain elimination across the whole country. I guess that has now changed because...
I think it was less because necessarily of the elimination determining that, and more because we, of course, maintained, and actually we have managed very high vaccination rates, generally, without the use of certificates. But actually what it's become clear to me is that they're not just a tool to drive up vaccines. They're a tool for confidence. People who have been vaccinated will want to know that they're around other vaccinated people. They want to know that they're in a safe environment. It is a way that we can give confidence to those who are going back into hospitality or events. And so that is something that I think we should offer to people who have been vaccinated, that confidence that we're doing everything we can to keep them safe and that they can come back out and start enjoying those things safely. So it's a tool for business too. So, two variables. So you'll see in September we released some modelling which is really sensitive to even minor changes. And that roughly, those baselines, we've assumed that the baseline settings that that modelling uses is essentially your orange setting. That's why we built in a red, and it's why we've said we'll use localised lockdowns as extra tools as well, because that tells you that you've got a better chance of getting your R under 1 if you need to really try and bring case numbers down. But the other variable is vaccination for children.
Whew. Oh, man. There's no shame in a lot of this shit. He's literally asking, he's like, so, is it different for them or us? She's like, yeah, it is different. He says, beyond the COVID response, I suggest people who deny the globalist conspiracy take a deeper dive into the philosophical roots of organizations like the World Economic Forum. Their entire ideology can be summed up in a couple of words: futurism and godhood. And futurism is an ideological movement which believes that all new innovations, social or technological, should supplant the previous existing systems for the sake of progress. They believe that all the old ways of thinking, including notions of principles, heritage, religious belief systems, codes of conduct, etc., are crutches holding humanity back from greatness. But what is the greatness the futurists seek? As mentioned above, they want godhood. An era in which the natural world and human will is enslaved by the hands of a select few. Case in point, the following presentation from the 2018 World Economic Forum guru, Yuval Harari, on the future of humanity as a globalist see it. And I've shown clips from this, but I'll play it here.
We are probably one of the last generations of Homo sapiens. Within a century or two, Earth will be dominated by entities that are more different from us than we are different from Neanderthals or from chimpanzees. Because in the coming generations, we will learn how to engineer bodies and brains and minds. These will be the main products of the economy, of the 21st century economy.
This will be the main product.
Not textiles and vehicles and weapons, but bodies and brains and minds. Now, how exactly will the future masters of the planet look like?
Oh my God. Be decided. How exactly will the future masters of the planet look like? What in the fuck? If this isn't like, and this is like a beautiful article. I'm going to drop the link to this because I can't sit and read it all, but wow. Just wow. I would love to hear your thoughts in the chat on this. I mean, this is crazy, and we haven't even touched the tip of this yet. I mean, some of the things that they've been unleashing just in the last couple weeks, dude, what in the fuck? I thought I would never see a lot of this stuff in my lifetime. I thought that this was, years and years into the future, we would watch this plan unfold. And it's like, or I thought it would be slower or something, I guess. And it's like after COVID-19, and the pandemic and all of this, we have seen it be punched into fucking hyperdrive. I mean, seriously, they have put their feet on the gas, and they're not playing around on bringing this new world order into fruition. They're attacking us from every angle. You can look at the supply chains. You can look at gas and fuel, the energy crisis, right? Like, it goes on and on and on. The economy and inflation. And then you look at the bioengineering, CRISPR technology, human engineering using microchips, right? Social engineering through social media and censorship and cancel culture and, really just kind of using politics to disrupt, distract, and divide as well, right? The political agendas that are being used to kind of manipulate and embezzle money. And it's like, then you get deep into that, and it's child trafficking and sex trafficking and human trafficking and fucking organ harvesting. And it's like, whoa, we have like pulled back the curtain on this, elitist world, or this globalist world, transhumanist world. And it's like, we're seeing what the true satanic agenda is behind all of it. And I use satanic for lack of a better word. Honestly. It's not because I'm pushing some religion at you. I'm not. It's like I don't believe in any organized religion. Matter of fact, I would consider myself a spiritualist. It's like I believe, in spirit. And I call it Christ, and, but I believe it can be called whatever you want, man. It's like it's all, so, I'm not pushing a religion, but I use satanic for lack of a better word because it is the adversary, right? It's the adversary, an adversarial spirit, meaning it's anti-human. It's an anti-human agenda, right? And it's one of depopulation and thinning down the herd, or culling the herd, right? It's one of manipulating our genetics to kind of engineer us into a slave race, to make us weaker, dumber, fatter, stupider, right? Like, and to kind of shift all the power into the mechanism of the artificial intelligence, And only the people that are controlling the AI, controlling the technology, at the top of the system that has, it's so interconnected now, it's like one domino, it falls out and the whole thing collapses, right? Which, it's designed for that. That way they can scrap it and start over anytime, Saying John, spiritual. Yeah, we have spiritual people in the house. Breathing red iron oxide, nanodust particles from the incoming planetary system goes right into your lung. Hey, and you know what? Maybe it is an iron oxide from Planet X, right? Some nemesis star. I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if there's a Planet X. I don't. I know there's a lot more shit going out in space than we've ever been told, and we don't really have a fucking clue of what it is. I know that the sun goes through cycles where it has extreme activity. I know that there's different parts of space that have debris from what appears to be collisions, and you know what I mean? I know that there's a lot of that, and it looks like a lot of shit fell down from the sky and busted our ass here on Earth in the past. And it's had a major effect on us. But it's like, I don't know, why or what the cause is. I do know, though, that there are medical particles being dumped in the fucking air by airplanes we see flying with our own eyeballs every day. Every day, and it's been going on, spraying the air for the last couple of decades, or at least the last decade. It's been incredibly intense and global, and it's no longer a conspiracy. And it's like that kind of thing. We're breathing in that dust particles. And it's like, are they? And when you're able to do stuff like that, like ionizing the atmosphere or ionizing the sky. We've shown studies on this channel too where those nanoparticulates are able to bend and refract light in like a number of ways. So it's like you could create any illusion, and that's where Project Bluebeam and the holographic projections come into play, where like they could fake an alien invasion if they wanted to by pointing, light up at the sky at this point because it's so covered and polluted with the particulates. And we're breathing in all this shit. Watch the guide suddenly documentary. If you haven't seen it, it's on Rumble. I think it's Stu Peters' channel. Watch the Died Suddenly documentary. It'll blow your fucking mind. Those morticians, they're doing autopsies on people, and I shit you not, it's everybody. They're pulling these fibers out of them that are giving people blood clots and fucking brain aneurysms and shutting them down. And look at what's happened over the last couple of years on mainstream media, in our sports at the very least. We're seeing people, dying suddenly, falling over. It says every day here in Florida, says Don Jack, we are running out of food. UN and Biden both said we have a worldwide famine at our doorsteps. That's why they want to depopulate, says Becca Loves Jesus. Interesting. Yes. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. No worry, the audio tone. Oh, nice. Yeah, well, and this is where we're at, right? The foundation of the World Economic Forum, and look, its conclusions, it'll no longer exist because of digital evolution and human hacking. The World Economic Forum is built on the idea that data is the new holy grail, the new conquest, and this is something I've written extensively out in the past. Artificial intelligence, a secular look at the digital antichrist. It's like, wow. We're not going to read all of this today. We're going to save this for another day, but we're going to get into some of this other shit, though. And these are the, and I've got Jeffrey Epstein's Black Book and everything we're going to look at today. I've got so much to cover. Hopefully I can get most of it in this one. California storms erase extreme drought from nearly all of the state. Yeah. California storms erase extreme drought from nearly all of the state. And this is what I mean. They were fucking huge drought, extreme winds, and now snow. It's like, yeah. Okay. There's a silver lining to the relentless California storms that have so far killed at least 18 people and racked up an estimated $1 billion in damages. Extreme drought conditions that gripped almost 1/3 of the state have been downgraded nearly everywhere. The U.S. Drought Monitor released an updated map Thursday that accounts for the series of atmospheric river storms that have doused the state in recent weeks with more than 24 trillion gallons of water. It shows extreme drought, the second highest classification used by the agency, has been all but erased by the interior sections of the state. In a single week, the portions of the state classified experiencing extreme drought from California fell from 27.1% to 0.32. That is fucking crazy. Still, 46% of the state remains classified as severe drought. And where they have those severe droughts, they have extreme fires, right? And these atmospheric rivers. A lot of people believe that this is not just climate change. And I feel like climate change would be where your argument for Planet X or something would lie somewhere in there. You know, like, is it the sun and the solar activity affecting the climate and fucking us up so bad? Or, you know, is it, you know, another star, you know, another body that's doing it, a giant comet that's doing it, you know, something we don't see, we're not being told about, you know, that's a possibility as well, and that's kind of the Planet X realm. Or is it from frequencies and chemicals and metals and all of that are being released into the atmosphere intentionally, right? As part of this mechanism to alter the weather and control the human beings down below, right? And create connectivity to all their devices and gadgets, right? So, you know, and it's going to be blamed on fucking cow farts and cars, you know, instead of what it's actually being, you know, what's actually causing it, you know. Hey Bill, you have something to hide? Bill Gates dodges Jeffrey Epstein's questions during an Ask Me Anything Reddit. This is crazy, and I've got Epstein's little black book too. I'm going to show you a surprising entry. Donald Trump is in that motherfucker, and he's in under massages and shit. He's got it like kind of sectioned off, where it's like people that got massages and his islands and hotels, and it's like, you know, different. It's like a phone book, and he's got them all sectioned off, and Donald Trump is there under the massages on the island. So, just weird, man. You know, I mean, John Kerry, all kinds of people's in it. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Gates, the Microsoft co-founder and billionaire philanthropist, fielded questions during a Reddit AMA, Ask Me Anything, in which he opined in his favorite rock band, U2, the need to combat climate change, taxation of the wealthy, his ownership of U.S. farmland, in which television shows he enjoyed the most in 2022, but he wouldn't touch the hot button question of his prior relationship with Epstein, the wealthy financier who hanged himself in Manhattan jail cell while awaiting federal trial on sex trafficking charges in 2019. Why did you continue associated with Jeffrey Epstein after he was convicted of being a pedo? A Redditor who goes by the handle always has the links wrote to Gates, and your then wife's advice and wishes. The reference was to Epstein's prior conviction in 2008 when he admitted in a Florida court to procuring a child for prostitution and soliciting a prostitute. The questioner then posted a link to an article with the headline, Bill Gates' ex-wife Melinda says his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein hurt their marriage. The Reddit user then posed a follow-up question, why did you funnel donations through Epstein as opposed to publicly donating via your well-known philanthropic foundation? Last March, Melinda French Gates told Gayle King of CBS This Morning that it was not one thing but many things that led to the end of her 27-year marriage to Gates. The divorce was finalized in August 2021. I did not like that he had meetings with Jeffrey Epstein, no, Melinda said. I made that clear to him. She told King that she met Epstein exactly one time because she wanted to see who this man was. I regretted it the second I walked in the door, Melinda told CBS The Morning. He was aberrant. He was evil personified. My heart breaks for these women. Bill Gates provided a statement to CBS which read, meeting with Epstein was a mistake that I regret deeply. It was a substantial error in judgment. Gates, 67, has admitted to having several dinners with Epstein in the early 2010s. He said the past May that the meetings were part of an effort to raise money for the Gates Foundation, and at the time I didn't realize that by having those meetings, I would be seen as giving him credibility. You're almost saying, I forgive that type of behavior or something, Gates told the Times in the UK. So clearly the way it's seen, I made a huge mistake not understanding that. Gates said Epstein had purported to have ties with potential donors for the Gates Foundation global health initiatives, but Gates said the dinners didn't result in what he purported. I cut them off. In September 2021, Gates squirmed and played with a ring finger when PBS NewsHour grilled him about his dealings with Epstein. Woodruff asked Gates about having had a number of meetings with Epstein after the latter had already been found guilty of soliciting prostitution for minors. You know I had dinners with him, Gates replied, fiddling nervously with his hands and pulling on the ring finger on his left hand. I regret doing that, Gates said. Yeah, I bet you fucking do. Right? Crazy. I mean, is anybody surprised that, dude's involved? It's like, I'm not at all. I just want to show you how all these fucking scumbags are in bed together. Right? And it's around every turn. They just so happen to be the richest fucks on planet Earth. They all happen to be philanthropists or scientists or doctors or something really important to where they can provide an opinion on what, the future of our health should all be. And, they're into, Silicon Valley technology. They're into, big money, farming, whatever. It's like they control it all. Fucking crazy, and we sit back and we allow it. Next big boom, unexpected magma chamber growing under the Mediterranean submarine volcano Colombo. Yeah, volcanoes producing high resolution, seismic wave properties. Colombo, an active submarine volcano near Centauri, Greece. The magma chamber increasing in size for a future eruption. This is prompting researchers to recommend real-time hazard monitoring stations near other active submarine volcanoes. And, this is going to be a big thing, guys. More and more the volcanoes popping off. More and more, of us needing to, monitor, a lot of the different seismic areas. Here we go. This is crazy. Total control. The digitization of humanity shows why the globalist agenda is evil. They're closing down Davos. Police and military blocked access roads to Davos, where Klaus Schwab is holding the World Economic Forum.
Nutzt mit diesem Gerät können die Fingerabdrücke abgenommen werden und das wird direkt
see people's vehicles and fingerprints being checked in that area.
In der Datenbank überprüft,
it's crazy, right?
Ob die Person bereits irgendwie strafrechtlich verzeichnet ist.
just to come within, close proximity to any of that shit. That's nuts, It's nuts. University of Denver physics finding that planetary conjunctions likely increase solar flare, proton releases, and activity on the sun. Hey, remember, the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, December 21st of 2020. That was the first time of one like it in 800 years, and the first time it had happened in 400 years. Okay, so just want to point that out, and we said that would be the beginning of a lot of big things back then, right? And we showed, biblical prophecies with Apophis, and, we know we have another encounter with that one as well in 2029 and 2036, so we're not done with Apophis yet. And we were talking about how each time it had happened in the past, we had seen not just evidence, but art, depicting a lot of the destruction they experienced, and it was biblical, in biblical proportions. And a lot of the things back then that they were going through, we're experiencing now, these global changes, One can only kind of guess. Conspiracy theories go. The idea that our governments are motivated by an obsession with safety is seriously bottom of the barrel. Forbes just yesterday, another reminder that the World Economic Forum is meeting in Davos, and you see here, the same Forbes which also brought us this gem in the pandemic. You must not research when it comes to science. And you see, they're trying to get us to eat bugs and shit like that now. The crazy shit. Here, check this out. This is wild. This is literally in Forbes magazine. You must not do your own research when it comes to science. Say what? You must not do your own research when it comes to science. Research both sides and make up your own mind. It's simple, straightforward, common sense advice. And when it comes to issues like vaccinations, climate change, and coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, it can be dangerous, destructive, and even deadly. The techniques, and this is legit too, by the way, right? The techniques that most of us use to navigate most of our decisions in life, gathering information, evaluating it based on what we know, and choosing a course of action can lead to a spectacular failure when it comes to a scientific matter. So they're saying your decision making that you use for most of your life is not sufficient when it comes to science. And they listed it off. Climate change, jabs, right? All of that. The reason is simple. Most of us, even those of us who are scientists ourselves, lack the relevant scientific expertise needed to adequately evaluate the research on our own. In our own fields, we're aware of the full suite of data, how those puzzles fit together, and what the frontiers of our knowledge is. When laypersons espouse opinions on those matters, it's immediately clear to us where the gaps in their understanding are and where they've misled themselves in their reasoning. When they take up the arguments of contrarian scientists, we recognize what they're overlooking, misinterpreting, or omitting. Unless we start valuing the actual expertise that legitimate experts have spent lifetimes developing, doing our own research could lead to immeasurable, unnecessary suffering. Say what? What? Let's start with simple, low-stakes example. Fluoridated drinking water. They're telling you, hey, all those people who told you don't drink water with fluoride in it, fuck them. Drink the fluoride, stupid ass. Right? Jesus Christ. This is crazy. This is crazy. And, they put, like I said, jabs and all the other shit on there too. So they're saying climate change, you don't need to be thinking about none of that. Your critical thinking is not good enough. And that is in Forbes fucking magazine. If that's not, propaganda and bullshit, I don't know what is. We get the same playbook every time, but don't tell it too loud. World Economic Forum. The next thing to worry about is a catastrophic cyber shutdown. The government. We are preparing for a catastrophic cyber shutdown, people. It sounds like they're planning for a catastrophic cyber shutdown, and wacko conspiracy theorists worried about catastrophic cyber shutdown. Yeah. See, they make fun of this shit, but the truth is, that's how it works. That's exactly how it works. You know, they let us know, you know, where they're going by the shit that they post and the shit that they talk about. Volcano mystery, the biggest eruption for 700 years, but scientists still can't find the volcano responsible. And like I said, with those conjunctions, 700 years ago. See what I mean? There's these periods of time, dude. You know, when you look in the Bible, you know, these periods of time where everything just went fucking haywire. You know, we have these, you know, Carrington events, Tunguska, Spanish flu. Like, that was the last kind of deal that we have with all of this. And it's like, every time we have these major conjunctions and celestial alignments and, you know, even looking at the Mayan long count, right? It's astrological in nature, right? These astrological events coincide with the actual planetary events. And when you look at like all the religious books, a lot of them and what they're describing is astrotheological. It's right. It's theology, but based on the stars, right? Being the gods, the deities. And, you know, we talk about a lot of this on this channel. Weather winds, scientists redirect lightning strikes using a weather controlling super laser. And this is fucking crazy. Check this out. French scientists divert lightning strikes using a weather-controlling super laser. And it's like anybody who has ever seen the footage from the Paradise Fires, right, in California, yeah. And there's been like images from Michigan and lots of other places over the years where we've seen lasers and lightning rods and shit, the rod of God technology coming out of the sky, right? And it's like now they're showing you this is no longer a conspiracy. They can actually divert lightning strikes by using weather-controlled lasers. And this is 300 reindeer killed by a single lightning strike.
Lightning is to blame for the deaths of more than 300 reindeer in Norway. It's not uncommon for animals to be struck by lightning, wildlife experts say, but for so many at once is unheard of. Reindeer tend to stay close together in storms, which could explain how so many died at once. Be sure to watch Inside Edition.
And see, and that's just like how so many died at once. It's like the 42 people killed in a lightning storm in India. You know what I mean? So it's like this isn't the only time that this has happened. It's happened for, you know, in a lot of places. And this is crazy right here. Sorry. She looks happy. Greta Thunberg carried away by police during eco-protest in a German village. She is such a fucking clown. This lady right here. She's not a climate activist. This is fucking MK Ultra shit, man, if you've ever seen it. Make sure to hit the like if you guys are in the chat too. Yeah. Come on, man. She's smiling. All the photographers are already there to capture the pictures. They're carrying her out like a weirdo.
You also want those for you, man?
Yeah. Hi, I'm cute. I'm Greta Thunberg. Right? And it's like her tweet and shit to, what's his name? Andrew Tate. Right before he gets busted with the pizza, you know, for the sex trafficking. It's just, wow, dude. It's fucking mind-blowing at this point, you know, how people don't catch on, dude. You know. And this is definitely not real. Oh, yeah. Definitely not. Yeah, Shot of Turin. And let me see if I can find this here. Hitler and a witness protection program. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with this conspiracy, right? That Hitler's not dead. But many here in a witness protection program. CIA report June 20th, 1945. Hitler transported to Argentina. And let's see if we can read this. See if we can make it a little bigger. German submarine landings in Argentina coast. Various rumors. Current Buenos Aires regarding the landings from Germany. Prior to surrender, one report source unknown, reliability to effect at about June 23rd, submarine surface of the territory of Santa Cruz. I can't see what that says, but landed 2 unidentified persons, a very high-ranking German army officer and the other an even more important civilian. Well, they go on. So, if you want to check this out and look into this too, I'm going to drop this in the chat. You know, I don't know how many of you guys have heard that, but you know, a lot of people believe that when we did Operation Paperclip, I have the book right here on Operation Paperclip, right? You know, we just moved the Third Reich over here. You know, we're the Fourth Reich, and we moved the Nazi regime to the United States, right, through the scientists. You know, and we've seen our NASA space program and all of that be developed through that Werner von Braun, right, and that Hitler actually escaped. That Hitler actually escaped, you know, into Argentina, basically, through a submarine. No way out now, peeps. John reminds me of Wild Man, John the Baptist. Nice. I'll take that as a compliment. Cyber rituals, yeah, that's what they are. They should have been hung for what they did to the children in India. What? They killed a lot of children with HPV vaccine and paralyzed many, many children. Yeah, they are pure evil. I wonder if the 10 kings that received power for 1 hour in Revelation are the 9 UN Secretary Generals and the one to come. That's a pretty good question to ask right there. You know, I think that's, you know, fair, you know, to kind of at least ask that question. The WEF and WHO, are they running a death cult? WHO pharma-controlled worldwide tyrannical health system. World Economic Forum is holding their annual Davos conference, which they just held it from the 16th to the 20th, which I've got so much stuff with that. The pathology of this outfit and those elitist billionaires and corporate honchos attending is reflected in this year's even more dystopian agenda. And we'll pull up the official program here. I'm going to have to click on this other. But you can see this is the official program. I hope I got the video. I think I do. Somewhere over here. Let me pull it up. World Economic Forum. And you can see this is fucking crazy. 2023 conference. They talk about their shattered society. Well, let me pull it up in my other. I got another tab. Let me switch tabs here, guys. I got a lot more cooler stuff over there. Let me pop this up. Hey, and big ups. Thank you to everybody for joining me too. For real. I appreciate all you guys. I honestly do. Can't tell you how much I appreciate you. Now we're back over to this tab. Let's pull it up here. Alright. We're going to take a look at some of this shit. It is absolutely crazy. More than 666 million doses. Are you awake yet? You can't make this shit up. And dude, I'm telling you, you can't. This is CDC.gov. More than 666 million doses of C-19 Bs have been given to the U.S. from December 14, 2020 through January 11, 2023. And they give you the thing, give you the current total, blah, blah, blah. They're safe and effective, and blah, 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 right? You know. And the monitoring includes using both established and new safety monitoring systems to make sure things are safe. And I want to show you, too, they've got some shit on these monitoring systems, a video I wanted to break out. Let's see if I can find it. Right here. This is crazy. New Zealand's new Prime Minister who said he wants to go out and find you. Watch this. This is fucking nuts.
I think early next year we'll be in the phase of chasing up people who haven't come forward to get their vaccination or have missed their bookings and so on. So everyone will be able to get a vaccine between now and the end of the year. But of course, you know, and I want every New Zealander to come forward, but human behaviour suggests that there will be some people that we have to actually really go out and look for, and some of that may spill into next year. But our commitment is everyone will have the opportunity to get the vaccine by the end of the year. Everyone will, but I can't say that, you know, that we're not going to have some hesitant people or some people who just haven't come forward that we don't have to go out and find next year.
What?
I think early next year we'll be in the phase of chasing up people who haven't come forward to get their vaccine.
Next year we'll be at the point of chasing after people. Are you fucking kidding me? How does this dude... And look, he says it with a straight-ass face. It was the same thing with the Australian lady. She was like, yeah, there's a difference between those who have the passport and don't. You know what I mean? She didn't even blink. She's like, yeah, so what? Fuck you. You know? And now they're like, yo, we're about at the point where we're going to start chasing those bastards. You know? What? This is crazy. Oh my god, this is crazy. Alright. Let's see if I can pull up some of these other ones over here. This is nuts too. They're now openly discussing human engineering to solve the alleged climate change crisis. I can't talk today. Oh my god. And remember, I showed you the article by Forbes that said you don't need to use your own brain when it comes to science. It's like, you shouldn't come to your own conclusions or use your own critical thinking when it comes to science. You just gotta trust them. And what are some of the things they named? The jabs, climate crisis, right? All their fucking agendas were on the list of things you shouldn't actually think about, right? Just let us handle it. Let the big boys handle it, right? Well, here you go. They're now discussing human engineering to solve the alleged climate crisis. And if your bullshit meter doesn't go off on this, then something's wrong with you, homie. Here, I've got the video up here on my computer, so I'll show you through the video, actually. Here we go. I think it's this one. No, this is not it. Sorry. This is fucktard. That's... here we go. Here we go.
But Matthew's paper really was about what we might want to do to make ourselves, how we might ethically edit ourselves for climate change, for example. So I'm really curious to hear how you
edit ourselves for climate change.
Take all of this.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of opportunities for this to solve big world problems. So one thing is the climate change.
I can't name none right
now. I'll just use, sort of climate change is a really big problem. We don't really know how to solve it. But it turns out that we can use human engineering to help us address climate change. So I'll give you two examples. Possibly we can use human engineering to make it the case that we're intolerant to certain kinds of meat, to certain kinds of bovine proteins. And there's actually analogs of this in life. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you'll become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanism. So that's something that we can do through human engineering. We can kind of possibly address really big world problems through human engineering. Another example is,
you go first.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that is fucking crazy. That is crazy. And if you were watching that, I don't know. Let's go to the chat here, see what you guys got to say about some of this. Would you agree that this guy just, he just said climate change a bunch of times to try to make you fucking, feel like it was something important he was talking about? He had no clue what he was talking about. Yeah, I hope so. Let's see here. John, I tried to share Cash Apps, and I'm getting a blank page. Okay, I'll drop that link. In the chat myself. It's probably because it won't let people share links in the chat because people spam my shit. So there's a Cash App link for everybody. If you can give if you want to give. It does. I am viewer powered. So donations are appreciated. Tips are appreciated. David Craig in the house. Howdy, John. Respect and regard from Scotland. What's up from Scotland? Let's see here. Cleric Knight starting a job tomorrow. What? Really nice. Awesome. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you. Hitler better find a better hole to hide in. Yeah, well, you know, it's like we're at this point, guys, where this is crazy. It says, becoming a human robot is indeed terrifying, but accelerating in aspects of our lives. And let's see if I can pull up the next one right here. Boom. Human microchip implants take center stage. It just gets better and better. The novelty of replacing one's home key with a microchip implant is gaining worldwide interest. But there's another more compelling story under the surface. Why is this technology, an integrated circuit the size of a grain of rice, reviled by some and celebrated by self-proclaimed human cyborgs? It is a good fucking question, right? And I do want to say, too, I've seen people like, and you guys may or may not know him. I have kids. This is the only reason I know who he is. Mr. Beast. He's like a famous YouTuber, huge YouTuber. He actually commented on one of my videos once. What's up, Mr. Beast? I hope you watch the Best Damn Podcast. Hit me up. And he was talking about how he would actually take the neural lace implant, and that it would be wise in the future society to actually take a chip or take an implant, because especially something like the neural lace, if you got a loan, like say you would get for a home, $100,000 loan if you couldn't afford it, to get this implant, that you could start a million different varieties of businesses, and that it would pay for itself within the first year because you would have open bandwidth to receive information and learn things, and your brain would essentially become a supercomputer, right? So that's how they're pushing this. And now you notice there's the other angle of all of this too, right? It's only the size of a grain of rice, and you can start your car, unlock your doors, take your phone calls, clock in at work, right? Like, it goes on and on the list of benefits. And if you're jacking into the system, not only do you that, but it broadens your ability, your mind's ability, right, to receive information, and you could actually use it as a function to make revenue, to make money, right? So lots of people would then go, especially after the first few people came out with this, right, the celebrities and all of that, right, then lots of people would put, wealthy people would put big money into getting them, and then people would be, getting loans like they would on houses to be able to become a cyborg, right, because they would be left behind in the new society. Right, this new society where we're shooting into digitaria, as fast as we can go. Fucking crazy though, right? Chip implants are just one of the many types of emerging technologies in the Internet of Things. We also have the Internet of Bodies as well, right? The expanding digital cosmos of wirelessly connected Internet-enabled devices. Such technologists are worried, however, the hackers targeting IoT vulnerabilities and sensors and network architecture may also try to hack chip implants. Radio frequency identification, or RFID chips, are identifying transponders that typically carry unique identification number and can be tagged with user data such as health records, social media profiles, and financial information. Remember, the data, according to Hirazi or whatever, the guy that's with, what's his name, from Davos, World Economic Forum or whatever, right, that talks about us becoming gods and all this. It's the Holy Grail. Data is the Holy Grail, right? And this is, social media profiles, financial information, health records, status, right? RFID chips, and remember, the home base for the RFID chip is located at 666 Fifth Avenue, New York, right? That's the headquarters. The building used to be owned by Jared Kushner, right, before Trump became president and all that. The RFID chips are passive transponders, which means a digital reader must be positioned a few inches away from the user's microchipped hand to communicate. In contrast, near-field communication chips use electromagnetic radio fields to wirelessly communicate to digital readers in close proximity, much like smartphones and contactless credit cards. A benefit of NFC over RFID is international use, reasons biohacks, with the power of existing infrastructure and a wide variety of services and products already supporting NFC standard globally. One huge benefit of ours is that we overlap virtually any private or public sector already using NFC or mobile tech. So they've already set up, they've already set up the systems. They're already in place. All we have to do is put the hardware on or have it, adapted some way to our body. And we're not just doing that. We have designer babies now, artificial wombs now, right? Like, this is the direction we're going. Gene editing, CRISPR technology, even being able to, through gene editing, to create, the telomeres to make you live longer, I actually have a book on telomeres over here, too, I just got from Christmas. So, I mean, lots of shit right now. It's showing you, like, we're stepping into this, like, new age. Like, and this is... EU allows house crickets and lesser mealworm larvae in food products. Like, this is for the peasants, right? To eat bugs, You'll be eating bugs, Not able to drive a car, not able to own anything, right? And you'll like it. You'll love it, right? Coerced bug eating is part of a wilder neo-Malthusian program that goes back 100 years. The World Economic Forum, currently its biggest and most successful purveyor, following in the footsteps of the Rhodes Roundtable Group, the CFR, the Council on Foreign Relations, and the Trilateral Commission, among others. The basic overarching goal: undo the developed world and keep the developing world from developing. Economic development is not sustainable, you see. The European Union recently allowed Acada domesticus, better known as the house cricket, to show up on European Union consumers' tables. The newly approved regulation will allow food producers to introduce this partially defatted powder of Acada domestica to the EU food market. The EU Commission passed the application presented in 2019 by the Cricket One company. Now, food producers can use the powder in the production of several foods, including pizza and pasta-based products, nuts and oilseeds, snacks and sauces, meat preparations and soups, multigrain breads and rolls, crackers and breadsticks, cereal bars, dry pre-mixes for bakery products, biscuits, processed potato products, legume and vegetable-based dishes, whey powder, maize flour-based snacks, beer-like beverages, and chocolate confectionery. Wow. The go-ahead came on the heels of the scientific opinion expressed by the European Food Safety Authority, which verified and approved the safety of the new powder. Fucking crazy. On January 6th, they also approved the introduction of the frozen paste and dried powder of Alphytobius diurnus larvae, known as mealworms. Gross, man. I mean, if this is what you're into, if you like eating crickets and mealworms, be my guest. But, it's like, this is, it's wild to watch, and it's happening so fast, so fast. Technocrats at work. Medical profession implements the WHO's digital diagnosis code for the unvaxxed. And this is nuts. And I want to preface this video, well, I mean, it's a little late to preface it, but I guess I'll just preface this article and all future articles and say that for this video, I am not a medical doctor. I am, not a financial professional or consultant. I'm not a lawyer to give, legal advice, none of that, okay? I'm just a dude that is exercising his First Amendment right to free press and free speech, and, critically thinking and discerning with my own opinions, not anyone else's, right, here, and this is on my own behalf, and I'm not trying to push any agenda. I'm not affiliated with any political party, any group. Nobody is sponsoring this and funding this in any way unless it's you, right? This is completely viewer-powered and independent, so... and I'm trying my best to just bring truth, and let you decide, what that truth is, your truth. So, chant, we will track you. There has been no clear way to identify those who do not take the experimental blanks until now. The U.S. has just approved and adopted the WHO's new digital diagnosis code for the unvaxxed. When you make your next visit to the medical facility for any reason, you'll be asked if you took the blank and the boosters. Your answer will be coded on the spot and the data uploaded to the all-seeing medical cloud. Technocrats lust for data like this. They also lust for opportunities to practice their social engineering skills. And let's see if we have the PDF here. I want to give this to you guys and put this in the chat so you can look at this shit yourself, because it's like, it's always, I feel like anytime, we show people this, like, or if you tell somebody something like this, they're like, no, that's not happening, that's not what they meant, or that's not what they're doing. Yeah. There we go. There's a link in the chat. There's going to be a blackout on the 28th of June. That plasma reset, get prepared for a big one, says Lou Vegas. I mean, I would love to know how you know that there's going to be a plasma blackout on June 28th, Lou. And I'm not saying that to be facetious. That's genuine. I would love to know what information you have pertaining to June 28th, in the chat, if any, and if you can send it to me, the Real Best Damn Podcast at gmail.com. I'd love to hear that too. We need to try using cash as often as possible, says Maria Elkman. Yeah, I agree. That's one thing about the digital system, right? And everything being digital and online, and even like crypto and all of that, and having social credit scoring systems and all that shit in place, is they can track every fucking dollar. Right? I can't loan you $5 in a digital dollar system without them knowing about it and without them taxing it, right? Because remember, it's taxation and shit that actually, takes precedence over all of this. That's what they're doing. YouTube is making me review and approve your last 2 comments. Wow. Yeah, YouTube has been on bullshit, guys. I've been doing this for forever. I have never seen the amount of fuckery that I have seen recently. Since I've came back and started doing the news and conspiracy stuff again, it's crazy. I've watched views roll backwards. I lose subscribers all the time. I've seen videos not pop up the way, like, just crazy stuff. I've gotten strikes, and it's like, if you like what we do on this channel, if you appreciate what I do, consider donating, supporting to the channel to help keep us going. Join a membership or get a subscription, right? All of those things help. Or book a tarot reading. I do tarot videos too. Make sure to watch those and check them out. Even if you're not into them, have an open mind. Have an open mind. We cover a lot of stuff here on this channel. So I'm going to start trying to bring in guests each week as well, to just kind of mix it up and, do more interactive, work too, and, kind of incorporate the things that you guys are saying into the show through the chat and maybe some call-ins here in the future. Yeah, I know. I want to know where they got the date too. Becca Love Jesus said, where'd you get that date, Lou Vegas? Why the 28th of June? You share this live in your Facebook group of 44,000 members. Nice. Well, hey, if they didn't show up, that's on them, man. Okay? I appreciate you either way. Thank you for sharing. Everybody who shares and donates and comments and all that. I appreciate all y'all. The set of international codes used by the medical industry for billing purposes under Medicare, Medicaid, and private insurance companies, but it's not just about billing. These codes are part of the International Classification of Diseases, or the ICD system, set forth by the United Nations World Health Organization, and they're about to get far more invasive. The system was originally created after World War II for the purpose of tracking the diagnosis of major diseases within a population. But over the years, there have been 11 major revisions. With each revision, the data being collected on each individual has become more precise and all-inclusive. More than 1.6 million clinical situations can now be coded according to the WHO website. And it's also become more coercive, to the point where it's become impossible for doctors to get reimbursed by insurance companies if they don't upload all the requested data points. according to an April 2016 article in the American Journal of Neuroradiology. Across the years, it has become an integral part of the payment infrastructure of the U.S. healthcare system, along with the current procedural terminology coding system for medical procedures. The ICD system really grew into an electronic data mining beast with the passage by Congress of the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, in 2012. The digitization of healthcare records was fully implemented with the upgrade to ICD-10 after the 2 congressional delays in 2016. Since then, there has literally been a numeric code created for almost any diagnosis you can think of and some you would never think of. Search crazy ICD-10 codes and you will see what I'm talking about. Fast forward now, and the Federal Centers for Medicare and Medicaid announced a new code that anyone who is awake and aware of growing medical tyranny should be concerned about. After some delays, the new code was rolled out in October of 2022, became available to nearly every medical clinic in January 2023. The new code is code number Z28.310. This is a code for a very peculiar diagnosis, since it's not a diagnosis at all, but an invasion of privacy, and likely to be used against many people in the future. This is a code your doctor will log into the computer system that is accessed by government and private health insurers, informing them of your COVID vaccine status. These are internationally recognized codes for very specific medical conditions for insurance and government purposes. They are accessible worldwide. Should you be overseas and have a health issue that needs to be treated. Wow. It showed up for the first time in any kind of paperwork. Wow. And I want to show you this too. They've got a petition going right now too, to kind of shut this shit down. So I would like to, I don't know if I have it, but if I do, I will go to it and drop it into the chat for you guys. I don't know if I have it, so, but this is fucking crazy. This is like, this is the tip of the iceberg on a lot of this stuff, man. They're now creating these codes, and we were talking about this. You can go and watch my private videos, right? You can go and watch all of them, and go on BitChute if you want to see like a backlog of the ones that are up available to everybody. Like, you can go and watch those videos now and see us talking about, how it started first with the medical information and the Google Analytics data and all of that being used for them to be able to put it on the web, how they would eventually use it to kind of track and then, stonewall people that didn't capitulate to the agenda. And now, a few years later, every fucking thing we said is now, falling exactly into place the way that we said it would. Wow. Crazy. Okay, this is nuts. This is Home Depot. A brown Muslim immigrant with a long beard is confident to be a white Christian after reading that. This is so ridiculously insane, Home Depot. Leading practices unpacking privilege. Social privilege, white privilege, what privilege looks like. Oh my God. Racism equals prejudice plus power. Yeah, this is from Home Depot, guys. This is from Home Depot, and this is like them unpacking privileges for their workers, like showing you, their ethics and all this shit for the people who work there. And yeah, special unearned advantage or entitlement to one's own benefit or detriment of others. These groups can be advantaged based on social class, age, disability, ethnic or racial category, gender identity, sexual orientation, or religion. White privilege, the benefit white people beyond what is commonly experienced by people of color under the same social, political, and economic circumstances. If you can use public bathrooms without stares, fear, anxiety, you have cisgender privilege. If you can expect time off work to celebrate your religious holidays, you have Christian privilege. If while growing up college was an expectation of you and not a dream, you have class privilege. If you are confident that the police exist to protect you, you have white privilege. If you don't have to worry about how to get into a store, you have able-bodied privilege. If you don't have to explain that your spouse is of the same gender, you have heterosexual privilege. If you don't have to think about it, it's a privilege. Check your privilege. What? What the fuck? Do you hear this nonsense? And this is fucking the practices, leading practices at the Home Depot. Holy cow. I wonder how many people would have to, how many in the chat would have to check some of these boxes off, man. I would love to hear that. Yeah, the gender pronouns for a conspiracy theorist? Told you so. That's funny as fuck. That is funny. Hey, if we're pushing other channels in the chat, let's not do it during the show. I don't mind if you share your channels, if you're a content creator, or you tell people about other videos, but don't do it while I'm doing the live show. You know, wait till the end, and then you can share links to videos, or, you know, tell people, you know, to go to other channels, but just don't, you know, I think it's, you know, a little rude to, like, you know, push other channels while I'm doing a video, you know. Here we go. Italy turned the protest of the dead. Protesters take to the streets in the name of the injured, but you won't see this in your media either. No, you won't. They don't push this. This isn't part of the agenda here. This isn't part of the program, is it, friends? To show this kind of shit. Matter of fact, I'll probably, you know, I could get a strike for, you know, for even showing this. Edible bugs or weapon. Under the Biological and Toxic Weapons Convention 1972, the use of insects to administer agents or toxins for hostile purposes is deemed to be against international law. But now they're using them anyway. See what I'm saying? And then the EU legalizing the crickets and the mealworms and all that shit. Hollywood is demonic. Doja Cat, pop star. This is the new normal. Look at this fucking shit. Ah! How many of you guys would hit that? I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. That is wild. And I can hear Mika barking, so the mailman must be coming by. No need to apologize, Lou. No need to apologize. It's just something I do. I don't want everybody to do it, so I'm not calling you out individually at all. I appreciate you coming by, and I hope everybody, if you got a channel, Lou, I hope everybody goes and checks out your channel and subscribes to it too. We're supposed to support each other. That's wild, right? Like Doja Cat, she's a weirdo anyways. She pushes her shit, man. Like, if I had a daughter or something, I would not let her listen to that idiot. I mean, she pushes just, it's foul. It's foul. And it's like, it makes adults uncomfortable when you listen to her music, so, yeah. Are we supposed to believe this is Damar Hamlin? Why isn't he showing his face? Yeah, I thought this was weird, dude. Is this another one of those fucking mind fuck conspiracies, right? Where they take a guy or a girl, a person that's famous, a celebrity, a politician, etc., that dies, and they supplant them with a double or a stand-in, right? Wouldn't that be fucking wild? I was watching the Bengals-Bills playoff game, Houday, right? Because I live in Cincinnati. I'm from Ohio, right? I'm a Buckeye. And, so my girl and my kids, like, we were all watching together, the Bills, Bengals, having a great time, enjoying it. And then they come out, as the Bengals were beating the brakes off of the Buffalo Bills, which I don't think the NFL wanted to happen, right? The NFL wanted the Bills because of the Buffalo shooting and all the shit that's happened. Damar Hamlin. It's like the NFL wanted them to win. That's why there was bad calls and all that shit, which is another story for another podcast. But they brought Damar Hamlin out, and he's like in the press box, and he's like all fucking bundled up and shit like that, and giving like peace, or the little heart thing that he was doing when he woke up out of the hospital and shit. And it's like, that's become his trademark, and you know, the hundreds of millions he's raised for his charities, all of this because of this. And it's like the famous athlete, and all the studies showing too. I've covered this in my recent shows, and if I've taken them down from YouTube, it's because I got strikes on another channel for them on YouTube. Probably my backup. It has 2 strikes right now. So support me. Go over to BitChute and Rumble and subscribe and follow as well if you want to check out all the other shit that's been taken down. And the links are in the description. But, you know, I was covering all of this, you know, and all the athletes and the studies showing how many of them have fallen over that have all taken, you know, this stuff. And then this dude pops up, and what if he really did die? There were reports that were saying that he did die the first night. They stopped the fucking game, right? And it was this big deal. And, you know, let's just say this is like an Alex Jones, Bill Hicks thing, you know, or Adolf Hitler, Walt Disney type of thing.
He was in attendance for the Bills' playoff game against the Bengals, and he was there for the first time since his remarkable recovery. He was escorted to the Bills' locker room in this cart before the game today in the hopes that his presence would provide an emotional lift for the Bills. Hamlin, along with his mother and brother, watched from a suite, and when he was shown on the big screen there, the crowd went wild. The Bills didn't win the game, but Hamlin still left an impact on the team.
Oh, yeah.
His presence, I think, was good for the guys and also hopefully good for him. And I thought it was a pretty cool moment. The game wasn't trending the way we wanted it to, but when they put him on the big screen, and just a great moment, keeping perspective, of course, on where he was just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, and I think that they brought him up on the screen at the time they did because the game wasn't trending the way they wanted it to. So it's like they tried to bring up the Hamlin shit, you know what I mean? It's like, it was crazy, but it didn't matter. You could still hear Cincinnati fans yelling "Who Dey" on the TV when we were punching the ball in on your bitch asses. So, do you think his parents? Yeah. Anyways, let's go over here. The World Economic Forum agenda bans speech. The elites gleefully giggle over the idea of banning speech. Skip forward on here.
What qualifies as hate speech, as illegal hate speech, which you will have soon also in the US. I think that we have a strong reason why we have this in the criminal law. We need the platforms to simply work with the language and to identify such cases. The AI would be too dangerous.
All right, so there she is giggling. You in the United States are about to have this. Well, what law is she talking about? Well, she's talking about laws that were enacted in 2008 after the European Commission made a decision to ban hate speech. So let me read some of it to you so you know what's in store for the United States, according to her. So here is the regulation that they made in the EU. Now, this is the Commission. The Commission writes up these kind of directives, and then member states need to start enacting their own laws country by country in accordance to the directives by the European Commission if they want to stay in the EU, if they want to stay in the good graces of the EU. So here is what they say in here. They say certain serious manifestations of racism and xenophobia must constitute an offense in all EU countries and be punishable by effective, proportionate, and dissuasive penalties. It says this framework decision applies to all offenses committed within the territory of the European Union or by a national of an EU country. So you've got to have, I believe it needs to be both. So you've got to be in the territory of the EU and you must be a national of the...
Yeah, well, you can go look at that if you want, but yeah. They're literally laughing about fucking busting your free speech apart. It's absolutely crazy, man. And this is, like I said, every time I just want to say, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Because it really is, it really is. When Bill Gates takes his private jet from Seattle to New York and back, he burns enough fuel supply to supply our cattle operation for 6 months. In that same time frame, we produce enough beef for 800 Americans for the entire year. Hey, elites, cows are not the problem. right? And I think that's, that's obvious, guys, honestly. We are having these agendas pushed on us, and it's like they're flying private jets and shit, right? Here we go. Davos watch. FBI Christopher Wray says, Director of FBI, the level of collaboration between the private sector and the government, especially the FBI, has made significant strides.
And I think the sophistication of the private sector is improving, and particularly important, the level of collaboration between the private sector and the government, especially the FBI, has, I think, made significant strides. Wow. Pretty much every technology we could talk about today, we see both great opportunity, but great dangers.
Yeah, you fucking think they're putting it right in your face. I mean, I've never seen so much shit come from a Davos too as this year. Like, it's nuts. The private sector and the government, especially with the FBI, it's like they're all working together. They're all doing this together, right? Like, and this is because they're all part of these same fucking death cults, really. John Kerry, who's on that list that I was talking about earlier. And students tasered at a carry for them. Yeah, okay. LAPD ban the thin blue line flags in the latest salvo and culture war. And this is wild right here. This is like people who support police, but watch the spin they put on this. From the thin blue line flag is an expression of solidarity with police officers who have lost their lives on the job. To others, the black and white American flag with a single blue stripe is a potent symbol of ties between right-wing extremism and American law enforcement. Say what? The tension between those irreconcilable interpretations spilled over in the Los Angeles Police Department this month, only in LA, right? With Chief Michael Moore ordered the flag, which was widely displayed in station lobbies around the city, to be removed from public view. Take down that fucking flag. You extremist, you right-wing motherfuckers, right? It's crazy. You got a new crush today? He's in Albany Salmon or something. What? Sorry, John, we have to push back against the CDC, says Becca loves Jesus. I mean, fuck, how, right? How? We continue to push back, and they continue to slap us down. It's like they don't, and we don't have anybody that's ever willing to speak up or stand out against these people for very long. As soon as they hit your bottom line, start taking your money and threatening you and doing the things that they do to coerce people away from all of this. Most people crumble, most people buckle. People like us, though, right? We're the last of the real truth warriors. And, I've been trying to fight the good fight for 6 years now, since 2015, 2016 now. I've been trying to fight the good fight and bring truth to the internet. And, I put my opinions out there, and a lot of my others, my fellow truthers, my fellow people out there. It's like we've created communities. We've done a lot, and it's like we've been blistered by these people the entire time. It's just been attack after attack, offensive after offensive. Like, it's been unrelenting, and down to people being a victim of electronic torture and being fucking targeted by intelligence agencies and private sectors. And it's like, and losing their jobs for not capitulating. I can't tell you how much tragedy and just bullshit I've seen happen to people like you and me. Just for being true to our morals, true to our values, our religious beliefs and principles, and it's like, or just trying to be true to our word and what we, it's like what we represent, true to ourselves ultimately is what it boils down to, and it's like, anybody that is true to themselves and that's willing to stand up against the machine, you're going to be dealt with, because nobody else is ever brave enough to stand with us, or brave enough to stand for us. There's a lot of people out there that are not strong enough to stand under the pressure. I feel like God never gives us more than we can handle. And by God, I mean the Spirit, Holy Spirit, insert whatever, weird belief you have. in the Word of God. I mean, I hate I even have to say it like that, but that's how it is nowadays. People get offended by just saying God. You know, I feel like we're never given nothing more than we can handle, and we all have a divine purpose on this planet of why we're here, why we're put here. You know? And it's like when you're pushing against the grain, you're going to get some resistance. You know, you're going to get some pushback, some kickback. And a lot of us have felt that. We felt the burn of that. You know, just don't quit. You know, don't give up. You know, understand that the way that they're taking us out is by censoring and silencing us. You know, is by starving us out. You know, constricting us financially, is by defaming us, you know, like character assassinating us. This is how they do it. They make us look crazy, right? They attack our money, our funds. You know, that's why I always say in the videos, like, if you appreciate what we're doing, you know, then there's many ways you can help out, you know, and you can do your part. And it's just by sharing the link. Share it in your Facebook groups. Share it on your social media. Hitting thumbs up. Leaving comments. All of that helps with the algorithms. And then donate, support, you know. Join the memberships. Get to see some cool uncensored shit on top of it for doing so, you know. But, yeah. And start something of your own, too, because I will promote you. Trans-identified male at the center of Santee YMCA controversy had previously sued a gym for access to women's facilities. Oh, Lord. This is an ugly fucking mug right here. Woo! Oh, man. Imagine if you woke up next to that, boy. Damn. Talk about chewing your fucking arm off. The trans-identified male who allegedly exposed himself to a 17-year-old girl, great human being there, 17-year-old girl at a YMCA facility in California has stepped forward to reveal his identity in response to a January 18th rally held outside of the property. Christine Lily Wren Wood, 66, addressed a crowd of counter-protesters and stated, quote, "I'm the scary transgender woman who that child misidentified as a man." The Santee YMCA has become the subject of international concern after clips from a January 11th City Council meeting went viral on social media. During the meeting, local teenager Rebecca Phillips became emotional as she told representatives that she had seen a nude male in the women's locker room at YMCA. Phillips said she was showering after her workout when she saw a naked male in the women's locker room and became emotional as she recounted her ordeal. And this is, dude, it's like making you fucking deny the very reality. They're making you deny the very reality you see. They're telling you that, you know, gender doesn't exist and all of this. Oh my gosh. It's like, I think I told you guys this. Like, I live in the city here in Cincinnati, and like I am pro LGBTQ. Like, I love everybody, and I feel like everybody deserves the same rights, you know, like with marriage and, you know, all of that, right? And that, you know, I'm not trying to fix nobody or, you know, shave somebody to hell or any of that. You know, you do what you do, and I'll do what I do. It's like, and I'll love you anyways, and it's not my business what you do or your business what I do, you know. And I think it's our character and who we are as a person that matters, right? Like, deep down. But I don't think anybody should be sexualizing children, and I don't think we should be pushing these type of agendas. For one, it makes a mockery. It makes a mockery out of people who are truly trans, feel like a male trapped in a woman's body, or vice versa. Like, it makes a mockery out of those people, because a lot of those people are afflicted. They have like the highest suicide rate and shit. So, you know, why are we doing this shit? You know what I mean? Like, for real. It's crazy. And it's really sad that this is what gets the news when it comes to this group of people. It also creates hate against, you know, gay people in general, I think. This is propaganda and programming. This is, you know, going to be used as cannon fodder for people to attack, you know, those people, those groups of people, which is also fucking sad. And it's also being used to push these agendas for social engineering, to tell you that gender doesn't exist, and, you know, allowing men to compete with women, and, you know, it's just like, this blurs the lines of reality and biology and everything, so we'll never be able to deem what's what anymore. You've seen the article that said don't use your critical thinking when it comes to science. Well, this would also be science, right? Gender and all that. So it's like, leave it to the experts. The experts are telling us what reality is. If you read the book 1984, talking about the Orwellian dystopian future, this was part of it, right? Newspeak, where they came up with new languages, and like this shit was nonsensical and all of this, and it was like part of the control mechanism of the civilization. It's like we find ourselves there now. And yeah, this is an ugly motherfucker right here. I just, man or woman. When students change gender identity and parents don't know. Now, remember the 10-point plan of the New World Order by Alice Bailey? This is a prime example of leaving the parents out of the loop, right? And making all children wards of the state. And this is like how they groom children and sexualize children, which we know there's like this mass predatorial thing with the elite class, So Jessica Bradshaw found out that her 15-year-old identified as transgender at school after she glimpsed a homework assignment with an unfamiliar name scrawled at the top. When she asked about the name, the teenager acknowledged that, at his request, teachers and administrators at his high school in Southern California had for 6 months been letting him use the boys' bathroom and calling him by male pronouns. Miss Bradshaw was confused. I imagine she would be. Didn't the school need her permission or need to at least tell her? It did not. A counselor later explained, because, and this is fucking crazy, like, states raising your kids, because, hold on, I lost my spot here. A counselor explained, because the student did not want his parents to know, district and state policies instructed the school to respect his wishes. There was never any word from anyone to let us know that on paper and in the classroom, our daughter was our son, Mrs. Bradshaw said. The Bradshaws have been startled to find themselves at odds with the school over their right to know about and weigh in on such a major development in their child's life. A dispute that illustrates how school districts, which have long been a battleground in cultural conflicts over gender and sexuality, are now facing wrenching new tensions over how to accommodate transgender children. I know, I'm going to get to that, Stool. I'm going to get to that, Rachel. Men can enter Miss Universe too. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I know. I'm going to show you that too. That's also coming, right? The Bradshaws accepted their teenager's new gender identity, but not without trepidation, especially after he asked for hormones and surgery to remove his breast. What the fuck? Doctors had previously diagnosed him as being on the autism spectrum, as well with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, PTSD, and anxiety. He had struggled with loneliness during the pandemic, and to his parents seemed not to know exactly who he was yet, because he had repeatedly changed his name and sexual orientation. See, man, and this is the problem I have with this. This is a teenager that they are trying to give surgery and hormones to. Hormones that will drastically alter his physical being, his physical body, or hers, permanently. And if you read the horror stories of these hormones, oh my lord, right? And I did a video with a couple that was that had transitioned years ago. You guys may remember. They had me on their show. And the woman had become a man, the man had become a woman, and they were a married couple. They were into the conspiracy stuff. And it's like, the things like I'd heard about those hormones was fucking just terrible, man. So a lot of people have a lot of problems, especially when you see that there's this long list of mental illness, too, with this teenager. It's like, why don't we wait till they're informed adults before we do any of that? Call them whatever they want to be called, fine. But don't touch them with a fucking surgical knife or start feeding them hormones that are going to drastically alter their body and chemistry in a way that cannot be reversed before they are fully matured, especially when they have went back and forth on what sex and what sexual orientation they are, already. You know what I mean? It's just, and they have this long list of mental illness. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. And you know, keeping it from the parents for 6 months, you know, the parents could have done something, you know, like, hey, they could have been there to support their kid, you know, like they did. They accepted their kid either way. And they could have been there to kind of, you know, get them the help they needed too, you know, for their mental illnesses they have. And like I said, there's a lot of scientific correlation and connection to, you know, transgender people and, you know, suicide and depression and all of that. So it's like there is a connection there. So, you know, we should be, and I'm not saying that it's always a result of that and that's why you're that way. No, I'm saying that a lot of people, you know, who feel that they're in the wrong body and stuff have a harder world to deal with, you know, so that can create some issues, you know. So it really does take balls to win a women's beauty pageant these days. Yeah. And the relentless erasure of real women continues. Interesting words by trans owner of Miss Universe a few days ago. From now on, it's going to be run by we men. Owned by a trans woman for all we men. I love this dude. Didn't try and change his voice. Really just adds layers to the comedic horror that is the modern world. I think you guys have sound here. Let's see.
The Miss Universe organization. From now on, it's going to be ran by women, owned by trans women, for all women. For all women really around the world to celebrate the power of feminism.
Oh, the irony! It's too much!
From now on, it's going to be ran by women.
Yes. And I know it's his accent, but for now on it's going to be ran by we men. Right? And it's like, oh, that's a man, baby. That's a man. Right? So, yeah. Oh my gosh. Bit of respect, please. Model dressed as a sexy nun is confronted by a churchgoer.
I don't know who gave you permission to be taking photos here at the cathedral like that. Get your stuff and get out of here. Woohoo! This is a cathedral. Show some respect. Get out of here. Can you delete the photos that you took here? Delete the photos. Yeah, on your camera. Open up the camera. Delete those photos. Yeah, that's all. I need you to delete those photos. There's a sign at the front that says no photos taken without permission, so, yeah.
Damn, boy. You know, it's like, I don't know. Maybe you should have waited till nighttime if you want to take those pictures. You know, who knows, right? Watches the exact moment when Yeti Airlines flight from Kathmandu crashes in Pokhara, Nepal, killing all 72 people on board. The cause of how it happened is under investigation. God damn, that was terrifying. That was fucking terrifying. Jesus. I wasn't expecting that. Wow. I wasn't expecting that. German police get stuck in the mud at a coal mine protest.
German cops got bogged down in a muddy field during a climate protest at a coal mine. German riot police have managed to get themselves stuck in the mud during a standoff with eco-activists in the village of Lützerath in the...
And look, and I think this is when that fucking Greta Thunberg got carried off at. This was just a goddamn mockery. Like, on many, many levels here, dude, that they did with all this. And you see, like, the hooded figure and shit. It's just craziness. Craziness. The World Health and the Global Pandemic Treaty. It's a backdoor to global tyranny. I'm telling you, it just gets better and better here. We're going to keep rocking. Keep rocking. All right. The World Health Organization has started drafting a global pandemic treaty on pandemic preparedness that would grant the WHO absolute power over global biosecurity, such as the power to implement digital identities, passports, mandatory blanks, and travel restriction, lockdowns, and standardized medical care, and more. The pandemic treaty, if implemented, will change the global landscape and strip you and me of some of our most basic rights and freedoms. Make no mistake, the WHO Pandemic Treaty is a direct attack on the sovereignty of its member states, as well as a direct attack on your bodily autonomy. Yeah. And you can see here, right? And I want to show you, too, this backdoor to global governance. Where I have it. Yeah, right here. This just come out, the Global Risk Report 2023, the 18th edition. This is from the World Economic Forum. I'm going to probably do a full episode on, a lot of this stuff, but I just wanted to show you some of the highlights from this fucking thing, okay? So just kind of bear with me here. We're going to look at a few of the stats and shit and just show you, this is letting you know what direction things are headed in. They're like telling you, okay? They're putting it out there in writing. As 2023 begins, the world is facing a set of risks that feel both wholly new and eerily familiar. We have seen a return of older risks, inflation, cost of living crisis, trade wars, capital outflows from emerging markets, widespread social unrest, geopolitical confrontation, and the specter of nuclear warfare, which few of this generation's business leaders and public policymakers have experienced. These are being amplified by comparatively new developments in the global risk landscape, including unsustainable levels of debt, new era of low growth, low global investment, and deglobalization, a decline in human development after decades of progress, rapid and unconstrained development of dual-use civilian and military technologies, and the growing pressure of climate change impacts and ambitions in an ever-shrinking window for transition to a 1.5 degrees Celsius world together. These are converging to shape a unique, uncertain, and turbulent decade to come. The Global Risk Report 2023 presents the results of the latest Global Risk Perception Survey. We use 3 time frames for understanding global risks. Consider the mounting impact of current crisis, global risks which are already unfolding, the most severe global risks that many expect to play out over the short term, and consider selection risks that are likely to be the most severe in the long term, 10 years, exploring newly emerged or rapid accelerating economic, environmental, societal, geopolitical, and technological risks that could become tomorrow's problems. And then it shows you the short term and the long term risks. Short term, this is in the next 2 years. Cost of living, natural disasters and extreme weather events, geoeconomic confrontation, failure to mitigate climate change, erosion of social cohesion and societal polarization, large-scale environmental damage incidents, failure of climate change adaptation, widespread cybercrime and cyber insecurity, natural resource crisis, large-scale involuntary migration. And this is what they predict or project within the next 2 years. Now here's the next 10 years. Failure to mitigate climate change, failure of climate change adaptation, natural disasters and extreme weather events, biodiversity loss and ecosystem collapse, large-scale involuntary migration, natural resource crisis, erosion of social cohesion and societal polarization, widespread cybercrime and cyber insecurity, geoeconomic confrontation, and large-scale environmental damage incidents. Okay? Just gets better and better. The cost of living dominates the global risk in the next 2 years, while climate action failure dominates the next decade. An economic era ends. The next will bring more risk of stagnation, divergence, and distress. Geopolitical fragmentation will drive geoeconomic warfare and heighten the risk of multi-domain conflicts. Technology will exacerbate inequalities, while risk from cybersecurity will remain a constant concern. Climate mitigation and climate adaptation efforts are set up for a risky trade-off while nature collapses. And this is fucking crazy, dude. It's showing you the outlook. Food, fuel, and cost crises exacerbate societal vulnerabilities, while declining investments in human development erode future resilience. As volatility in multiple domains grows in parallel, the risk of the polycrisis accelerates. And this is showing you like the infrastructure of the world, right? How it's all interconnected. They're all color-coded and all of this showing you, the interconnectivity, the short-term, long-term, right? Risk preparedness of what they're doing for all of it. The current crisis and its manifesting risks, which is energy supply crisis, cost of living crisis, rising inflation, food supply crisis, cyber attacks on critical infrastructure. This is fucking nuts. And the path to 2025 debt crisis, failure to stabilize price trajectories, failure to mitigate climate change, failure to climate change adaptation, widespread cybercrime and cyber insecurity, and large-scale environmental incidents. I'm going to drop this. Hopefully, you can download this. If not, you have to find it on your own. I don't know if this link's going to be good or not. But I'm going to try anyways, man. Try anyways. Bring it on, I say. Well, why run? Yeah, well, I know. We're fucked, guys. Get right with God. I mean, I feel like a lot of people are, that's probably where they lean. It's like, you look at the world right now and all the things that are taking place, and whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God, it's like, get your shit together because it's serious, right? If you're religious and you believe in God and you believe in a judgment and apocalypse and prophecies and all that, hell yeah. I mean, I think no other time fits the bill more than where we're at now. And it's all out in the open. The agenda's dark. It's nefarious. It is like that new world order that we've been told about. Right? It is satanic. That is how you could describe it. It is anti-human. Right? And it's all been kind of, prophesied. Call that, that could be part of the witchcraft. The way that they wanted it to happen. That's why they put it in books and all this and then projected it onto our televisions, for so long to normalize it. So we would bring it to fruition. But it's here now. And it's like no matter what angle you look at it at, it's like you see it. All the information's available now, too. Freedom of Information Act, the white papers, documents, published journals and articles, and it's like, how can you ignore it? How can you not see what's taking place? Hey, y'all from the Texas Panhandle, seeking truth. What's up? I was born in Dallas, Texas, so big love for Texas. And hell yeah, your son just subbed. He loves my stuff. Awesome. I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody who subscribes. But I'm just saying, like, how can we ignore this no matter what angle you look at it from? The scientific angle, the religious angle, like, whatever. Like, it's all there for you to see. It's like, use your fucking common sense at this point. You know what I mean? They're telling you what they're going to do, and I don't think they're bullshitting, and I don't think they're lying as we watch the things kind of unfold. And I feel sorry for the younger generation, just to keep it all the way real, because they have grown up in this weird-ass age where, for the last few years, they were in isolation at their homes, and they're seeing the new normal. They're seeing this as, like, how things are. It's like, to people that's been around for a while and seen the old world and old society and old economy, we're like, no, this is nothing like our world is supposed to be. And it's like, well, this is the world we're dealing with now. This is what we got to work with now. And it's making people more depressed. It's making people more unhealthy. It's making people more fucking desperate by the day, in a multitude of ways. Yeah. No amnesty, no fear. No surrender. Ha ha ha. I'm down with you. Yeah, the World Economic Forum and WHO are running a death cult. The WHO pharma-controlled worldwide tyrannical health system. And the never voted for influencer organization that is amassed power, money in the hundreds of millions of dollars. This is a WEF, like no other NGO around the world. Its founder and eternal chairman, Klaus Schwab, is an engineer, economist whose origins link to the former Third Reich Nazi leadership. By the way, the World Economic Forum holding their annual Davos meeting. The World Health Organization goes as a specialized UN agency, which in reality it isn't. It was founded in 1948 by the Rockefellers, an obsessed globalist who was and still is aiming at controlling the world population through health and death, and it was hell-bent to make Mother Earth a better place through a one world order, who was then bought into the UN system. At that time, Rockefeller with Standard Oil had also a monopoly on petrol. He decided that pharmaceuticals up to the 1950s, mostly based on plants and plant chemistry, could be made from petrochemicals. The WHO, according to its bylaws, Disease Preventative Health Organization, became thus largely a curative pharma-based and pharma-pushing organization. While the bulk of the budget from the UN agency stems from member countries' contribution, the World Health Organization is funded at least to 2/3 or more by the private sector, mostly the pharma industry and the Bill Gates Foundation. And we already know, we've looked at every one of these fucking guys, honestly, throughout today. And I can't really go on. All the Western world uses the so-called blanks, which are in fact bioweapons. You know, it's like, here, I'm going to drop this here. I want you to read this. And I told you guys at the beginning of the video, you know, there was a lot of stuff I wouldn't be able to go all the way through, and a lot of stuff I wouldn't be able to, you know, elaborate on. And that's why I like, you know, dropping this in the chat. Let's move forward here. And this is the, you know, the annual meeting, the cooperation in a fragmented world. Let's see if I can show you guys a video on that one too.
We see rising inflation. We see energy being used as a weapon. We see threats of trade wars and the return of confrontational geopolitics.
Зараз є загроза обвалу того життя, до якого звикли люди в світі. Яким може бути життя у світі, якщо буде дозволено бити з танків по атомним станціям?
We see the collapse of society when tanks are allowed to strike nuclear power stations. Here, maybe I'll make it smaller.
Tragedies are outpacing life. Tyranny is outpacing democracy.
Every democratic nation should rethink its dependencies on authoritarian regimes.
Our world has never ever witnessed an energy crisis of this depth and of this complexity.
Inflation, by all accounts, however you look at it, is way too high.
This year is going to be a tough year. We will see the effects of monetary policy tightening, and this is generating a cost of living crisis.
And it's not a short-term cost of living crisis, it's a long-term inequality crisis. We shouldn't be running our economies on poverty wages.
214 million workers around the globe, they work 40 hours a week, yet they are not able to even pay their bills.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, and you can check this out, I'm going to drop this too, but this is, you know, for the 2023 meeting, you can go look at this. This is the fragmented world, dude, right? And I'm telling you, they broke it into a million fucking pieces. They're now admitting it's fragmented. Most of the people that were involved, like Gates and Schwab and all these asshats, are now backing away from all of this, you know, it's kind of like waiting for the other shoe to drop now, you know, and it's like, here we are, and we're watching it all kind of come to fruition and manifest itself into this one world system, this one world order that we've all been warning you about for fucking ever, you know. It's like, now it's here. So, now it's here. Are you ready? Right? Are you ready? Where did the coup come from? The Rockefeller Social Engineering Project. Okay? The NWO grew idea grew out of John D. Rockefeller's business idea, hatched already around 1900, to take on healthcare and make a global monopoly of medical science, just as he had already created a virtual global monopoly on the petroleum business. Rockefeller's brilliant but sneaky self-serving initiative took the guise of a nonprofit institution in order to escape taxes and at the same time gain respect, if not popularity, instead of the anger and hate his ruthless business methods had earned him until then. And what better way of taking control of medical research, education, and practice, all under the guise of generously donating fortunes for the benefit of the masses and of science, while tailoring all of it to his own strictly for-profit business model, which has resulted in Big Pharma's secret mantra: every cured patient is a lost customer, becoming a fundamental principle of modern Western school medicine. It does not offer any cures, only lifelong treatments by patented and high-priced synthetic pharmaceutical drugs and surgery with a long list of potentially fatal side effects that need additional drugs. By creating nonprofit Rockefeller Foundation in 1913 to alleviate human suffering worldwide, his oil billions became exempt of taxation, and he could be used to discreetly control almost anything he wanted to take over through outright purchase or bribes, or through donations with specific conditions, or through influencing boards of directors and other decision makers. Scientists, research, and publications were bought, and politicians were funded and made to change legislation to favor Rockefeller's business interests. The Rockefeller family controls Chase Manhattan Bank, the First National City Bank, and Chase Manhattan Bank is the third largest banking establishment in the world, according to Wikipedia, and by far the most influential. This also means that they own a major chunk of the Federal Reserve, the privately owned U.S. central bank created through a coup in Congress on December 23, 1913, same year, right, when the majority of congressmen and senators had already left for their Christmas holiday. To a great extent, therefore, Rockefeller interests control global finance, such as interest rates, the printing of fiat dollars, which is counterfeit money on a massive scale. The Federal Reserve, therefore, has the power to cause stock market booms and busts, as well as financial crisis, leading to recessions and depressions at will. They have used that power several times and are deep into it right now. Yeah. The social engineering project was first documented in 1910 with the Flexner Report, 3 years before the creation of the Rockefeller Foundation. It was about reforming and controlling medical education in the U.S. and Canada. Let me make sure I dropped this in there. I don't know if I did already. For you guys, you can check that out. But everyone called you stupid? Yeah. What's it say? My crypto. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see some of the comments here. You guys, I would love to hear your comments, so I'm trying to read them as I go through tonight. And if you don't catch this live, or you catch it on the flip side, put your comments below. I'll try to respond to all of them. Yeah. They were part of the musical chairs moving from job to job. They killed them off. Very smart. Israel told the Hasidic Jews to go to the New York mountains a couple years ago. They know what's coming. Yeah, I did see something about that too. They called me stupid. Yeah. Well, a lot of us were called stupid. A lot of us were called crazy. A lot of us, were made to feel like, we had lost our shit, basically. When we started pointing out a lot of these things, it's like, well, now it's right on the table for all of us to see. So you can't deny it anymore. The blame game begins as the MHRA passes the buck. All the blank authorization decisions were taken by the government minister. And this is what I mean. Now that the agenda is shifting gears, now they're passing the blame to others, and we're going to see a lot more of this. People stepping down, people, retiring from government, and, people shifting the blame onto everyone else, right? Or the people that are in power now. It's now time for the fall guys to kind of step in while a lot of the public figures out what the fuck is going on, basically, right? So, Here's another one. Remember, it says the agenda was for U.S. and Canada. This is craziness, right? I have done private videos on organ harvesting. This is wild. I'm going to show you something. Watch this. Canada performing more organ transplants from May donors than any country in the world. Let's see if I got the video down here or if it's up here. They literally show somebody harvesting organs, getting his organs harvested as he's dead on this thing. And where's it at here? So they've got the guy fucking literally, he's dead, and they're pulling the plug on him. They've got his friends, his family, and the whole hospital hallways lined up, fucking clapping for this guy as they're wheeling him through to take all the organs out of him. It's crazy shit, man. It's crazy shit. You know, calling the organ donors heroes and stuff. And we've seen so much shit, you know, about the organ harvesting and, you know, how, you know, people that are organ donors, they don't try to save their lives in hospitals and, you know, or even some places try to kill them. And we've seen what happened through all the pandemic stuff with the remdesivir and the jabs and, like, you know, like, we're now seeing, like, where it's being glorified. And if you watch any of my videos on the organ harvesting, like in China and other places, you know, there is a market for these things. There's big money, more money in selling your organs than probably keeping you alive in a lot of situations, right? A lot of people don't know that. Move forward here. Hopefully the video pops up. Yeah, and here is that We Are the Patriots USA. This is the the spirit of fear was never given. The health status should be protected class, and this is a petition to add health status as protected class under federal law. Everybody, I encourage you to sign this petition, right? This is a petition to add health class or health status as protected class under federal law. So like to try to reverse the things. They're now coming out and telling you that, and this is crazy, YouTubers had a new agreement as part of like the monetization of the shorts, which I don't do shorts, guys, okay? I don't do shorts. But they had this new agreement for 2023 to where now they can come back if a video gets a strike or something and take the money that you made from it, right? So they can steal money from you now based on whether or not you got a strike on previous videos. And this is part of their new fucking collective agreement with the people that are using YouTube. You know, and it's like, we're getting to a crazy, crazy place, right? Like, honestly. Fuck PayPal. Well, I mean, I got many pay links, guys. I got PayPal, Venmo, Patreon, Cash App, or Facebook Messenger Pay. I've sent people crypto wallet links before, and, you know, I've never got anything back on it. So, you know, I'm sure I got one somewhere. You'd have to email me, and I'll send you my crypto wallet. TheRealBestDamnPodcast@gmail.com. But PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, those are the easiest ways to support. Or if you want to join us over on Patreon, get a YouTube or a Facebook subscription, or go over to the Facebook page through the Instant Messenger, you can do that too. And I do want to let people know that I did start a new Facebook page for the show and my personal. So if you haven't added that one, add it. So now I have 2 accounts for personal and the show on Facebook like I do on YouTube. I've got 2 YouTube accounts, so I just keep doubles of everything because, you know, all the strikes and the trouble and, you know, everything that we get into. Ladies and gentlemen, the staged arrest of Greta Thunberg. Thank you, Greta, for exposing the climate agenda as a total hoax once and for all.
Yes, Greta Thunberg has been arrested in Germany while protesting a coal mine expansion, but new footage emerging is sending the internet into a frenzy that this may have all been political theater. In order to truly understand what's going on, you need to have some context on the situation. Let me break it down for you. There is an abandoned village in Germany known as Lützerath, which has been turned into an autonomous zone by climate change activists claiming they want to stop capitalist expansion in that area. A coal company called RWE wants to clear and demolish this village as they seek to extract 280 million tons of coal from the open cast mine. The green activists have set up protest camps, numerous squatted houses, weekly patrols, and much more. The RWE operation to demolish all began this January, which is why thousands of people across Europe have come to protest in this area, including this guy who went absolutely viral. He is known as the Mud Wizard, who taunted riot police getting stuck in the mud. However, it seems to have zero effect on him. And that's when 20-year-old Greta Thunberg entered the chat. On the 17th, 2023, she was removed by local police and carried away. You have to keep in mind that Greta has the media on her 24/7 and has a huge following. So when she goes to protest like this one, she knows all eyes will be on her. In the video, we can see her smiling, cameras on all sides, and her posing with the police. People are calling.
Yeah, I mean, this is just fucking crazy. The Mud Wizard and all this shit. Like, you see, there was images of that, you know. This is always how it works out, man. And I showed the Greta Thunberg thing earlier, but I just wanted to show this video because it kind of puts it together, you know, in one. That way you can see it. And you can see how fucking, how big of a scam all of this really is. Truly hard to comprehend. Madonna child trafficking claim goes viral. Sparks widespread reactions. Say what? Pop star Madonna has been trending on Twitter after being accused of child trafficking. The Ethiopian World Federation, who advocate to change the laws that harm all black people, have accused the singer of exploiting children. Say what? The Ethiopian World Federation did that? They have reportedly uncovered several problems in the musician's adoption of her 4 children, David Banda, Mercy James, and twins Esther and Stella. The EWF has requested a Malawian President Lazarus Chakwera to investigate Madonna's charity, Raising Malawi. The nonprofit claims to support orphans, vulnerable children by providing health and educational programs. The EWF is asking the Material Girl singer and her associates to be restricted from Africa and to not be given access to African children until an investigation into child trafficking, sex exploitation, sexual slavery, adoption reversal, threat of coercion, fraud, deception, and abuse of power or vulnerability is completed. Say fucking what? For real. Crazy.
This building is the result of many dedicated people, and I am grateful to each and every one of you for helping me make this dream a reality. I believe that if you want something badly enough in life, the universe will conspire to help you get it. And with the blood, sweat, and tears of so many people here today, we fought for this hospital, and we won. So I'm here to say, never, ever give up on your dreams.
Creepy. Fucking creepy. She was like, we'll conspire. The universe will conspire to make their dreams happen. The blood, sweat, and tears. Yeah, I bet there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that went into that, you satanic fuck. You know what I mean? Oh my god. In the petition, they cited Madonna's 1992 book, Sex as a Cause for Concern. The book included adult content, including pornography, bestiality, sadomasochism, and LGBTQ content. And LGBTQ conduct is reportedly punishable by law in the country of Malawi. What the fuck, son? That is so crazy. That's so crazy, dude. And it's Madonna, you know? Oh, God. It's Madonna. So, it's like, I don't know, dude. I'm to the point to where it's like nothing surprises me at this point, you know, in the game. Nothing. Literally nothing surprises me. So, yeah, but whatever, right? And you know, and here's the thing too, and let me see if I can pop this other one up here, switch the Well, actually, alright, you know, and here's the thing, like, we have seen time after time these people be connected to, you know, to these situations, time and time again. Famous people that, you know, have allegedly been involved in child trafficking. They have these fucking, you know, organizations that are in these countries, and somehow, you know, they're always tied to kids and their disappearance, and somebody's always coming out, and Hillary Clinton in Haiti, Madonna in Africa. It's like it goes so on, you know, on and on. And here is the Jeffrey Epstein, speaking of trafficking, Jeffrey Epstein Little Black Book. This was allegedly redacted, and I just wanted to show you guys some of the interesting names in this one. Very crazy. It's mind-blowing, to say the least. And this is Mr. Donald Trump right here, right? Donald Trump, they've got, and I want to show you, if you go back through it, Donald Trump is in that list with all the Trump shit. I don't know what all the lists beneath him means, but you can see like Kenya, right? Kenya, right? Shit like that. These African countries too. He's got Israel, right? Like they're all island, like they're all listed under different names. So it's like some people are listed under, you know, like as island, at the island, right? And some people are listed as other things, you know, like through his other means of contact, hotels, right? Massage, see, France, you know, different things, banks, finance, entertainment. Trump was under massage and island. So just kind of putting that out there. That's what Trump came under. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt, you know, but I think there's a lot more to it than what anybody, you know, realizes or wants to admit. Isn't it funny how all the you know, the pedophilia fucking shit being exposed came out through Trump, right? And come to find out, you know, he was rolling on the Lolita Express himself. Come to find out, you look at a lot of the things like Trust the Plan and how deeply rooted it was to Operation Trust, the anti-Bolshevik agenda, right, where they attacked the people that was still, you know, had patriotism or nationalism, right, as a socialist, communist takeover took place back in Russia. Same playbook. You know, and then he's the one who brought out the 30,000 National Guard troops, you know, after the transition integration project where the election results were going to be, you know, fucked up. That was planned by the government and intelligence, right? And then he brings in all the National Guard troops and all this to help bring in this this new age we're into now, Operation Warp Speed and the jab. I mean, like, if you ain't figured it out by now, right, like that you've been had on that, then you never will. I know a lot of people fucking, you know, still support Trump. They're staunch supporters of Trump, and they think the man can do no wrong. You know, they think he can do no wrong. They think, you know, that this guy is a second coming of Jesus. I mean, honestly, it's like we talked about the Hegelian dialect and how it plays into this, right? The dark winter and COVID and all of this, you know, kind of playing into the darkness or the cloud of darkness coming onto the world. And then this great awakening, which is the false awakening through QAnon and all of this fucking right-wing shit, right, that's being pushed. And right-wing's no better than left-wing. They're both garbage, right? Both insane fucking ploys to, you know, brainwash the people into one extreme or the other, you know, one polarity or the other. Polarization of society, just like the World Economic Forum was saying would happen. And all the division that was created through the Trump agenda and all of that too. You know, like, and you know, normalization of sexualizing children, the normalization of pedophilia, right? The normalization of political scandal, all of this, man. And it was like rolled out to us, and then who was always targeted as a result? Fake news was turned around on the people that were reporting real news, right? Remember? Cancel culture was turned around on the people that were telling the truth. Everything you can think of, I'm telling you. Like, and people still don't get it. The very people that supported the motherfucker and put him in the office, the Christians and the right-wingers, they're the ones under attack. The gun owners, they're the ones under attack. It's like we haven't figured it out yet. FBI special agent who investigated Trump-Russia collusion arrested for conspiring with Russian oligarch. Yeah. Tens of thousands of protesters gathered in Batman, Turkey to condemn the burning of the Holy Quran in front of the Turkish embassy in Stockholm, Sweden. Yeah, and this is a whole fucking, NATO deal, and, I'm not surprised, right? Not surprised. Joe Biden just saying happy birthday to MLK III's wife and straight up forgot her name. The dementia-ridden fucking hologram president we have. You must not do your own research when it comes to science. Yeah, we showed this earlier, I think. This is a real article here. A real fucking article. Yeah. And after Soros and Klaus Schwab, now Bill Gates. Interesting that the top World Economic Forum are not WEFing. Where is their private meeting? How about that? Just in, George Soros and Klaus Schwab both pulled out of the 2023 World Economic Forum in Davos, which begins today in January. Exclusive, Bill Gates also pulled out of 23 meeting in Davos. Yeah. And you'll notice that the biggest WEF ass kissers, such as Macron and Trudeau, aren't there either. I told you, man. They're, leaving other motherfuckers holding the bag. Russian TV warns of a big war coming after a Putin ultimatum, right? And we know that we're pushing towards war. That's part of the agenda. See, by the end of the winter, something very big will happen, and they're labeling this Russian disinfo.
Иначе эти тезисы не были бы озвучены прямо сейчас и не были бы предъявлены в ультимативном довольно порядке. Так вот, нам придется в ультимативном порядке в какой-то момент объявить, что шахты уже открыты или как-то.
Yeah, so, you can take it with a grain of salt. Russian spy ship hanging out off the coast of Hawaii to collect intel on the U.S. military's ballistic missile defense system. Russian spies, the Karelia, have crossed the Pacific to loiter off the coast of Hawaii. The ship is reportedly off the coast of the Garden Island of Kauai, and this is the site of the ballistic missile defense test, and the Kareli's presence may indicate an imminent test. So, there you have it. Russian spy ships kicking it off the coast of Hawaii, right? Maybe something is coming. Bodies of hundreds of Ukrainian soldiers left rotting in refrigerated wagons at the Hungarian border. This is fucking nuts, dude. Yeah.
A szomszédomat otthonról vitték el. 2 kisgyereke van. Koporsóba hozták haza. Azt mondták, hogy öngyilkos lett. Mindig ezt mondják. Vagy azt, hogy dezertált. Így nem kell kártérítést fizetni a családnak. Azt beszélik, hogy egy vonat jár bátyú mellett. Abban szállítják a kárpátaljai halottakat. Hűtőkocsiban. Havonta 1-2 adnak ki, hogy ne derüljön ki, mennyi a veszteség. Sokan beálltak területvédőnek, hogy ne kelljen a frontra menni. Aztán meg kiképzés nélkül küldték őket Donyeckbe. Az övéiket nem. Az, ha ide menekült, ha akar, regisztrál a katonaságnál, ha nem akar, akkor nem. Őket...
Wow. So, it's like, if they're fleeing, they can register with the Hungarian military. If not, basically, they end up fucking dead and their bodies are, I don't know, this is crazy. It's like, and I've heard of a lot of this too in other countries where people, these migrants, right, from wars in different, invasions in their countries, not only do they get denied, safe haven when they're crossing these borders. I'm going to drop the link here for you guys in the chat. Not only do they get denied safe haven when they cross these borders, but a lot of times they end up fucking dead and their organs gone. Cleaned right out of them. Just saying. Crazy shit. You're using non-AI word algos. Every time you see that death walk from organ donors, I cringe. And that's what it is. Yeah, the death walk from organ donors. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. It's a person that's clinically dead. I shit you not. And hopefully I can find the video before the show ends. We'll keep going for a few more minutes at least. They're clinically dead, and they wheel their ass through the hospital with their friends and family crying over them, basically, and people clapping for them because as they get ready to go kill them in a room and unplug them and scrape all their organs out. It is insane. It's insane. It's insane what we've normalized in this world. It's fucking insane. The Bank of America CEO says new ESG rules are needed to reboot capitalism. And this is good shit right here. Okay? Bank of America Chief Executive Brian Moynihan told the World Economic Forum in Davos that the official global standards on sustainability and climate were needed to align capitalism with what society wants from it. Moynihan supports the work of the new International Sustainability Standards Board and Investment Manager Consumer Society. Others can sit there and say, here's a line that is acceptable, and you're either above it or below it. If you're below it, we shouldn't do business with you. And this is a credit score ranking for people, right? And this is what they're proposing by the World Economic Forum, right? To decide whether or not you're able to, be aligned with capitalism and aligned with the system. If you don't meet the score, well, you'd be fucked, right? for lack of a better term. Let's see if we can get this. And the Bank of America chief said Wednesday the current efforts to produce a set of official global standards on ESG issues were vital to align with capitalism and what society wants from it.
That are already being used across jurisdiction. So I call me optimistic. I don't think this is as hard.
Call me optimistic.
As, accounting for inventory or something like that, trying to get that straight across 150 countries. I think this is probably easier because it was developed as a global standard because this is a global question from the start.
Jackie?
I think you are right. And even I must say, when it comes to US GAAP and IFRS, in the end, the differences are not big ones. And we work together. Yeah. We work together to avoid any disruption. But here, I think the critical question here really is that we must have one global which we apply in the same way. Otherwise, it doesn't serve capital markets, it doesn't serve consumers. And that's important that Asia is here with us.
Yeah, and this is the more gems from the World Economic Forum. Yeah, honestly, they literally fucked us every which way already. Cryptocurrencies to control the masses being discussed at the World Economic Forum right now, and a guide released to encourage the development of a future crypto-based economy. The tokenized future economy, part of the WF this year, running from January 2022, a terrible year for crypto with the loss of $2 trillion in market value. We can now see the handover of crypto technology and blockchain infrastructure to more regulated and established institutions. Cryptography and blockchains will continue to be integral parts of the modern economic toolkit, and the WEF published a guide to encourage development of the crypto-based future economy. And the guide starts, collaboratively governed and code-driven, decentralized, autonomous organizations, or DAOs, are engaged in nothing less than an experiment to reimagine how we connect, collaborate, and create. Now, although DAOs today manage billions of dollars worth of assets, engage millions of contributors, and operate across industries as diverse as finance and philanthropy, basic questions regarding operations, governance, law, and policy are only just the beginning to be addressed by policymakers, regulators, and entrepreneurs. Leaders in economics are messaging that crypto is here to stay, that a tokenized economy will consume our future financial interactions, whether we like them or not. So yeah, whether you like that shit or not, it's coming is what they're saying. So I hope you do like it, right? Because if you don't, they don't give a fuck, right? If you don't, they don't care. Oh man, this is this is great. It's like we continue to be, pushed into a lot of shit I don't think none of us really want to be pushed into, a lot of us are sitting here like, dude, fuck this. You know, we don't want to be a part of your new society, your new world, the way that you've got things going. We're good. Thanks. Archdiocese of San Francisco confirms a Gateway pundit that they're unaware of any exorcism at the Pelosi home. What? Saturday, Pelosi, Spawn, and Alexandra Pelosi claimed that Paul Pelosi's scandal prompted her mother to perform an exorcism on their home in San Francisco. That was a lie. The church come out and said they were full of shit. Imagine that. China using QR codes on kitchen knives in order to track them. Throughout the last decade, China's technological surveillance systems have strengthened the grip of the control the CCP has on its systems. Facial recognition systems track the majority of the citizens and even fine them for petty violations. But that ain't the only thing they're tracking. Now they're tracking kitchen knives by putting QR codes on them. And I wonder if this is like, you know, they could do this with so much shit, dude, honestly. And even control like who's able to even carry a knife based on social credit scores. It's crazy. Karine Jean-Pierre reportedly dodges questions on Biden classified document scandal. Ducey wins the day with the best question video. Okay, I don't know if we have a video on this one or not. No, doesn't look like we do. But yeah, she's dodging questions on the Biden scandal. Are you surprised? No, is the answer. Judge dismisses lawsuit from Whole Foods employees who were banned from wearing Black Lives Matter masks at work. Yeah. This is crazy. You know, they got banned from wearing Black Lives Matter masks at work, but federal judge dismissed the lawsuit by Whole Food employees who were mad that they wouldn't let them wear their fucking masks. It's like, how dare you not let us push our shit in our place of work. Ghislaine Maxwell speaks out on Jeffrey Epstein's death. I believe that he was murdered. I was shocked. Are you shocked? I don't know if he's murdered or he was just moved somewhere different and had his identity changed. 4 Oath Keepers convicted of seditious conspiracy by D.C. Kangaroo Court for marching up U.S. Capitol steps in a stack and singing national anthem on January 6th. And I don't know if these fucking Oath Keepers are even legitimate real people or not. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think this is more of that bullshit, right? And this is what I'm talking about, Trump being controlled opposition and being used to target people that are really, truly patriots and, nationalist, populist, people that lean towards conservatism, right? Right here with the whole Oath Keepers bullshit. This is some FBI fucking nonsense. These groups are created up by federal agents. Flat out. This whole January 6th shit was pushed by federal agents. It was set up as crisis acting, right? And it was propagandized to then go and attack anybody that had any association with that or was stupid enough to find themselves in that fucking general vicinity that day, and then create all these committees to target domestic terrorists and vilify anybody that had any association with that. And it's like, dude, watch how it's spun off since then. This is crazy. I guarantee if we look up the faces of these people and all this, we'll find they have connections to actors and lawyers and who knows what else, senators, and they're probably in intelligence and police somewhere. Guardian accuses former Brazilian President Bolsonaro of indigenous genocide with a photo of a Venezuelan. What the fuck? Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva on the left-wing Guardian accused Jair Bolsonaro of genocide of the indigenous Yanomami tribe. Yeah. They revealed the images of emaciated Yanomami were actually of Venezuelan refugees from communism. How about that? That's crazy. This whole shit with the Bolsonaro and the riots and the protests, right? The liberal left taking over, like hijacking the elections just like Biden did, right? And then going after and putting people in fucking jail that supported Bolsonaro. Now putting out fake-ass propaganda against him saying that this is him going after lefties, when in fact it was him at a communist camp finding somebody fucked up and sick, is crazy. And this is how the shit works, right? It's called disinfo. DeSantis discusses ban of high school AP African American Studies class that contains CRT and sections on queer theory. Republican Governor Ron DeSantis spoke at reporters about why his administration has barred an AP African American Studies course from being taught in state schools. It was found that it violated the state law prohibiting CRT from being taught in the classrooms. It also contained a section on queer theory. So, yeah, you can look at that more if you want to yourself. The House Republicans' latest attempt to raise prices for American families will result in oil supply shortages and help Putin. Yeah, so, goddamn you right-wingers. North Carolina police shoot unarmed disabled white man who has his hands up. Yeah, dude. You will not hear the name Jason Harley Clover for any corporate media outlet. Clover is a disabled white man living in a trailer in rural North Carolina who was the victim of a brutal act of police violence. And I have seen the video. Oh, shit. Did they take the video down? It's right here. Yeah. SWAT team woke Harley Clover up and told him to get outside, then shot him as soon as he opened the door. What the fuck is that fucking thing? Come outside, Jason.
What the fuck? Yeah.
Wow. Craziness. Ah, man. I mean, you never know. Here's where we're at with things. We're at such a crazy point. Like, you don't know if they're doing it to go against the cops, or they're doing it to go against guns, or like who they're doing it to. You know, get woke, go broke. Eminem replaces woke spokes candies with comedian Maya Rudolph. That's fucking funny. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Matter of fact. Woke Medical Journal says humans are no more valuable than animals and calls for shift away from human-centered healthcare. This is crazy. Dude. When individuals within scientific community have decidedly taken a world woke view for years, encouraging obesity to discriminating against white individuals, the Lancet becomes the latest in the crusade by repeating PETA talking points and declaring them science. Oh my God. Ecological equity, meaning that all life has value, which I agree, and their proposal, One Health, advocates shifting the human being from the center to where humans and animals are interdependent in the wider environment. So we don't even have all humans with healthcare. So why are we worried about the fucking making sure we're equal with plants and animals? It's just crazy. It's like devalues a human life, you know. It does. And I think that's the whole point of all of this, is to, like, you know, desensitize you to, you know, to other human beings, you know, and to make you essentially, you know, not value a human life, you know. And it's like all of this activism is always part of their whole social engineering and tailored to fry your fucking brain against any form of common sense. So, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I thank all of you guys so much for joining me. I'm going to ask each and every one of you all in the chat, make sure to hit that like, give us a thumbs up, leave a comment. If you catch us on the flip side, make sure to comment, guys. It does help with the algorithm so much, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on all this tonight. And share this link. Share it in your Facebook groups, your social media. Follow us Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Go check us out, BitChute and Rumble. You can see our more hardcore videos. You can, and we're viewer powered. So we need your support. Donate, support to the channel, help keep us going. PayPal, Venmo, Patreon, Cash App, Facebook Messenger Pay. The links in the description box down below. And every little bit helps and is appreciated. So thank you to those that will. February will be the new membership for 2023. We're going to be doing back to the private videos on Discord, 2 private lives a month. uncensored, Dropbox, just lots of cool shit. So donate, support. You can book your own personal tarot reading by emailing therealbestdampodcast@gmail.com. So do that if you're interested in booking a reading, and check out our tarot videos as well, guys. I work really hard on those and put up all the signs. We're dropping ones for February now. Have an open mind. It's not evil just because you don't understand it or it's not something you're into. There's so many different things that we can open our minds to, especially in the spiritual world. I'm going to be doing some really interesting shit in the coming future. I'm trying to be more interactive and bring the chat into things. I do appreciate everybody who takes the time to join us live so much. I see we have Stool Purger, Seeking Truth, Cosmic Blue, Daniel Craig, Rhonda Marlowe. Thank you guys so much. Becca Loves Jesus. Yeah, VZ Fat Cat 113. Awesome, man. I appreciate you guys so much, dude. Seriously, you guys are great. So, thank you all so much for watching. Like I said, all the links in the description box down below. Remember, Jesus is the truth, the way, and the life. God bless you all. I love you, and I will see you next time. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful week. Peace.